middle of a damn live stream because I threw bitch out the water. You ain't got it. Data. Hey-oh, 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 hey-oh.
Hey, everybody, it's Bass and Brews. Happy Friday, Sunday.
Hey, Alex, when
Wednesday.
are you going to do a hey-yo introduction?
I figured you should pull your weight somehow, so I'm going to leave you with the hey-yo because that's the only thing you're really contributing as per last week's episode.
If you
we learned
are
who the
going
real talent
to...
is.
No. If I got to pull my weight, I need some help.
Yeah, we
it's
know
a lot of
your
weight.
weight is. It's a lot of weight. It's a lot.
I need
weight.
your help. I need your help.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bass and Brews, your weekly distraction from high-quality podcasts. We're here to get you through your weekend, your
any
Friday.
quality podcast.
Any of them.
I'm going to interrupt the shit out of you this episode because of the bullshit you posted on the social medias.
Hey, so what's really funny is that video, that template I got from CapCut, right? Everybody knows CapCut's like LinkedIn with TikTok, right? So I used what they recommended. I sent it out, and it got blocked on TikTok, which I thought was the funniest fucking thing ever. And it said for bullying, and it highlighted your name. So at least TikTok loves you. Nobody else does. Hey, just a reminder, you can support the show at patreon.com/Bass and Brews. Go become a OG producer of the show. That'll also give you access to Last Call with Alex and Paul, the monthly live show that we do.
And the special runs out in somewhere between next month and the next 18 months.
Yeah,
of
so
$3.99.
It's going
to be raised to $5 subscription at some point. We don't know whenever Alex fixes it.
Yeah, so the date is we're going to run till the end of the summer, so the end of August, and then after that tier will be locked. But if you are a member, an OG producer of the show, normally we do the live show Last Call with Alex and Paul. It's me and Paul talking to you guys, having a great time. We are not going to be doing it on the first Friday or the second Friday of August. It's actually going to be on the 16th because I will be on vacation. And Paul's too scared to do a live show by himself. So,
dude, yes, as the guy who's the only one that's been live on TikTok on our account ever. Not to mention that when I'm on vacation, I still show up for podcast. I don't leave you hanging like you leave me hanging. I make it happen.
Well, I'm going to visit the great city of Boston for a week and a half. So I will. I'm actually going to be out one show, maybe two shows. One show. I think it's one show.
1.5, you're going to be late to one and miss for another.
All right, so Paul specifically said in the
I have a bone to pick with three people specifically. One is Andy Hossie. He won't listen to this. He's an old firefighting buddy of mine. The next is Michael Wiggs.
Perfect.
He may or may not listen to this, but he's a local guy here, fishes my local club with me. I'm going to make sure that he knows he needs to listen to this episode. And Alex. I enjoy good kitty cat videos. A lot of people know that. And I send my kitty cat videos to Wiggs and to Hossie. And Hossie, he reciprocates and sends me some, but he doesn't respond to the ones I send him. And when I send them through TikTok, I can tell when they watch them because TikTok says, so-and-so watched your video you shared. And those assholes aren't looking at none of my damn kitty cat videos, so, they're assholes. I do send some to our good buddy Scuba Steve, who has broken more rules than anybody on this podcast, and that's why his ass don't come on here no more. Plus, he's 100% while we record, and he's appreciative of them. But I have started sending Alex a bunch of funny TikToks that I run across.
It's a lot.
And it's a lot. Yeah. It's numerous a day. It's somewhere between 1 to probably 20 a day, and he hardly ever responds back or watches them, and that's fucked up, dude. Alex calls me his best friend all the time on here. When he gets a couple drinks in him and he starts showing me some love, calls me as his best
Yeah.
friend, all this and that, but the sorry ass motherfucker won't look at my damn funny TikToks I send him. What's up with that, Alex?
Okay. I'm too busy doing everything else for the show, responding to everybody, posting everything, doing the thumbnails, descriptions, everything to get this show out. I don't have time to look at your stupid videos, and most of the time, those videos are the same ones that my father-in-law sends me that have been around for like 8 months. Like, I've already seen them a million times. Like, your FYP is basically the equivalent to an old man's ball sack. It's fucking old. It's doesn't look good anymore, and it's just not great. So that's why, Paul.
Well, when we finally meet in person, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. You're going to pass out on the ground, and you're going to see my ball sack in your face when you wake up, little munchkin.
All right. Hey, Josh. We have Josh from Invasive Lures here. Josh, how are you, buddy?
Swell, buddy. How are you?
Jawape.
Jawape. That's what we're
Harold.
going to go with?
I think
Harold.
that's a slur.
He looks like a herald.
Jawape might be a slur.
Look, he does have. We have had some really good beards here. Boots on the door episode, his beard was immaculate. The best beard, not probably the best beard we've ever had.
Yeah,
and then we've got Josh
It
here.
was.
We've got Josh here with a very immaculate. I mean, look how. I mean, this is
it's put
another
together.
Lego beard. This is a good beard, man. I'm proud of you.
I grew it myself.
Did
I
you?
think this puts you in the top 3 of beards at this point. I think.
Yes,
I
it's
had to have
definitely.
trimmed it.
It's definitely. We got Boots. Boots is first, Dimitri.
Yep.
And then I would say Rudd's is second, just because
I agree.
it's a lot of fur. There's a lot of fur in his, and it's
But he has
very
waves.
well manicured.
It's long, and he has the waves. It looks phenomenal. So
Josh's beard is a good third. Is a easily third. I don't know
I
the
agree.
fourth that comes close to it.
I'll take third rate beard any day. Appreciate that.
This man takes pride in his facial hair.
The most funny part is I don't. I just wake up and if I shower at night, I wake up, whatever.
No,
Go
fuck
to the
you,
beach,
man.
whatever. I really don't have to do much except for right down here, it just decides to go left turn Clyde. And sometimes it just needs to be evened out. But other than that, I don't know. Genetics, I guess.
Well, we did all that nice stuff, but fuck you and your good
I
genetics,
appreciate
I
it.
guess.
But yeah, just get good, I guess. I don't know.
So we were talking
Just
in the
get good.
we were talking in the background. You were in North Carolina last week when we were talking driving through. We talked about you travel between Florida and Virginia, and you said your parents were from Kingsland.
Yeah, they live there.
What happened? What'd you say? I was talking. You got to talk louder, dude, because look, I can't hear.
Oh,
a
no,
fucking
we can
thing.
hear 'em.
I'm colorblind. You got to talk loud.
That is how it works. If you're colorblind, you can't see well, and then that also affects your hearing. It's just
See,
it's like when you turn
somebody
down the radio
understands
in
me.
the car to find directions. Yeah.
Well, if you ever had to follow printed MapQuest directions, you definitely had to turn the radio down to read those.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember printing things out to be able to drive around.
And every MapQuest you ever printed out was when your printer was low on ink, so it had the ghost printing on there, and you
Or
couldn't
you'd have
read
the
shit
thin
anyway.
lines that go through.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep, and the exit number, the last digit was always cut off. So anyway, it doesn't matter. You talked about Kingsland, Georgia, and I think we've talked about this on the podcast before. If we haven't, we're going to talk about it now.
Okay.
There's a barbecue joint right off of 95 in Kingsland called Mawson's Barbecue. Have you ever eaten there?
I don't know that it's called that. It changed owners recently, or relatively recently. One of the guys that was, because I went to high school here, one of the guys that was an economics teacher actually owned the barbecue stand for the longest time, Mr. Porter. I don't remember if he sold it or what happened with it, but I do believe it changed ownership. But it's the same spot right next to the Ritters on the left side of the highway when you're going towards.
Yeah, I don't. If you're going northbound on 95, it's on the right, in the sandwich between a gas station. I can't remember the gas station. Sandwich between a gas station and a Wendy's.
Yep.
And it's a little shack, and they got this big ass wood-fired smoker that they cook all their shit on. And anytime we're going by there, I always stop and get barbecue. It is delicious Georgia barbecue. Absolutely
Been there
phenomenal.
quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Like-
that Paul will normally throw out these random spots, and I can tell when the guest is lying when they're like, yeah, oh, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. But Jebediah definitely knew exactly what the fuck you were talking about and had the background information to cover it. I love it.
Yeah, it is good barbecue. Y'all make sure you stop by there and grab some. If you order the rib sandwich, just know you're going to get ribs between two pieces of loaf bread with the bones in it. Like if you take a bite out of it, it is a true rib sandwich.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, my buddy Hicey, I was talking shit about earlier, about the cat videos. Little damn fat bastard. Anyway, they stopped by there after I recommended it because he works at Okefenokee National Wildlife Refuge. He's a fire management officer. And this is years ago, though. This is probably shit at this point, 8 years ago. Anyway, he stopped by there, and his father or father-in-law, one of them two fathers, got a rib sandwich and went to go take a bite of it like a sandwich.
Yeah,
the ribs
it's a
with the bone in
fucking
it.
sandwich. Why would the bones be in it? That doesn't make sense at all.
Because yeah, it's Georgia, and they ain't got time to pull the meat off the bones. That's your job. Their job is to cook it and to serve it. Your job is to eat it.
They say New Jersey is impatient and rude. That sounds like the most impatient bullshit I've ever heard of, where they won't take the rib off the bone for the sandwich. Doesn't make sense.
Well, it's delicious because it is delicious. Y'all just need to eat some Molson's barbecue down there off I-95 between the gas station, unknown gas station, that does not have clean bathrooms. If you need to go to the bathroom, go to Wendy's. And
Josh, what's the name of the gas
much
station?
Cleaner.
I don't know. They change things every time I come by here, I swear. They get shut down by the EPA or whatever and just get rebranded. But I don't know. It's next to the Ritter's and the Wendy's now. So you got Ritter's ice cream there. And then the gas station is right next to where they sell the pecan sandies and the fudge and all that. So.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
so
you're talking about fucking food. Paul will talk about it all night. His fat ass loves that
This exit, you can go get all the diabetes that you want.
Oh, yeah, you will get diabetes. There's also 3 Waffle Houses, so take your pick. They're mildly segregated, but, you're probably fine.
Which one has the best fighters? Which Waffle House
Mary's.
has St. Mary's? So stay away from that one. Which one has the easiest people to beat up?
Well, that one closed. It turned into a Subway, and that's because, they couldn't hold their own, and they got replaced by a Subway. And then there's another one that's technically the one in Kingsland, and that one's like normies until about 1:30 in the morning time.
Yeah.
And it gets a little sketchy sometimes.
Damn it, Alex, let me finish, because if I don't think of this thought right now, then I'm going to forget it, and then it's going to be an unthunk thought. If you go, speaking of Kingsland, not far from there on Waycross, if you've been on TikTok or Instagram recently, there's a big old ordeal going on where some lady poured a bunch of tequila in a funnel in her booty hole, and her boyfriend drank it out of her buddy hole, and Waycross isn't far from there either. Do you happen to know those people since you're from that neck of the woods?
I haven't seen the video, so I can't confirm or deny that I know those people.
I can't confirm or deny that butthole.
It's not a large area, so probably, honestly, if it made the news, I probably went to high school with them.
No, it's big on TikTok because they're mad about Hawk Tui girl getting famous, and they're like, "Listen, my friend just butt chugged tequila in the middle of a Waffle House."
And her
was in the Waffle House. I'm surprised it wasn't down at the boat ramp.
Nope, it wasn't a Waffle House. A Mexican restaurant, the Rodeo.
Oh yeah.
The Rodeo Waycross.
He's like, that's cousin Sally. I know who the fuck that is now. Now that you said
that's cousin Sally and her brother, John.
Hey, when we mentioned the weak Waffle House, all I could picture was like an episode of South Park where, what's his name? The dude from Subway who's a pedophile.
Jared.
What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
Jared comes in and just beats the fuck out of everybody and turns it into like an off-brand Subway. That's just what pictured through my head. But anyways, Josh, Paul's going to give you some little catchphrase.
Clay Henry. That was the other Subway guy that lost a bunch of weight. And he was from South Carolina. He lost like 120 pounds eating Subway sandwiches.
Subway's the fucking worst. Yeah, no shit.
Subway's horrible. Look, Subway went downhill when they quit cutting the V out of their bread to put the meat into and then stuck the V back on top. When they started slicing the sub from the side, that's when Subway started going downhill really quick.
That's around the time they got rid of the seafood salad sub too, which was sketchy, but when it was good, it was good. or you got
But
diarrhea.
that was
Those
the
are your two
problem
options.
because when you went to eat, the way they shoved all the shit in there, when you went to eat it, like you can't fit the whole thing in your mouth, so you had to eat it from side to side. So you got a side of vegetables, and then when you took the next bite, it was a side of meat, and it never like came together.
And then the mayonnaise is just somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, they always put way too much mayonnaise. I mean, it's like a damn creamsicle pop with mayonnaise.
There's no pores in the meat, and it just slides right through.
A damn good old slimy pre-cut Subway meat.
You know what?
I think it should be illegal to put cheese directly against the bread because then everything just slides right out.
But see, Alex isn't truly from the Jersey area.
Correct.
But there's a correct way to build a sub sandwich or a hero, as they call them up there. Like there's certain ways that the meat, the cheese, hoagies, whatever the fuck they are.
Yep.
And I don't know exactly what it is, but a good buddy of mine has mentioned this on a Facebook page a couple times about people building sandwiches, about how the meat, the cheese, the condiments, and then like the tomato, all like there's a way that you build the sandwich so that it doesn't, so the lettuce doesn't wilt and the tomato doesn't run and it doesn't slide everywhere where you're trying to eat. But the motherfuckers in the South that build Subway sandwiches do not know what the fuck's going on, because I mean, every time you take a bite out of a sub sandwich in the South, everything squirts out the rear end, kind of like the girl that funneled the tequila in her butthole. Everything squirts out the rear end of it.
It took a while, but we brought it back.
We got it back there. Hey, here's the key: never put a tomato on it. Tomato will fuck up your integrity of the sandwich every single time, unless it's a BLT or you have toasted bread. That's the only time. And then you got to put that tomato on the toasted bread. Otherwise, it'll fuck it up. You're going to be sliding
I don't know.
Thing.
I made a post last week about tomato
You've been doing
sandwiches.
a lot of, well, that's a
and
different.
There's nothing more delicious than 2 soft pieces of loaf bread, a little bit of mayo, a little bit of pepper and salt, and a big old hunk of fucking tomato. God almighty, boy, that shit right there. Better than sex sandwich is what I call it. You can have 2.
I've never connected with you more than when you posted about the tomato sandwich, because I didn't learn about that until I got to Jersey. And literally the week before we were having that, not even the week before, it's 4th of July, we made giant Jersey tomato sandwiches, and everybody ate them, and they're delicious. It's like the best thing ever.
What kind of mayo did y'all use?
I don't want to admit it because you turned me on to it, but Duke's is the way to go.
That is
what did y'all use? Hellman's?
When I was a kid?
No, in Jersey. We ain't talking about the ones you made last week.
Oh, no, we use Duke's, because you talked about it, and now it's in my store, so now that's all we use is Duke's, because it's the superior mayonnaise, 100%, than Hellman's. But you do lettuce, you do giant cuts of tomato.
No,
and then
it's not a tomato sandwich if you put lettuce on there.
Yes, it is.
It's no more.
I know you don't like greens.
It's a bitch. If you put if you put lettuce on a tomato sandwich with no bacon, it's a bitch ass BLT is what that is. You do not. There's no lettuce on a tomato sandwich. It's loaf bread, mayonnaise, salt, pepper, and tomato. If you put anything else on that, like people. No. Coley was up talking like people were trying to. If you would have taken this and put it, look, we're talking about tomato sandwiches. We ain't talking about all this other bullshit. It's a tomato sandwich. If you want to put all this other shit on there, it's no longer a tomato sandwich. And if you're putting lettuce on there with no bacon with tomato on it, it's a bitch ass BLT.
Josh, what's your stance on this? You're the middleman in this between mom and dad, and we'll figure that out later.
I don't really like tomatoes, but if I were to make the ultimate tomato sandwich, I would probably just cut a tomato in half and then put all of the sandwich inside of the 2 halves of the tomato and just make it a keto sandwich. You know,
this guy has gone next level. If you put fucking beans on that, we're gonna have issues. But
look, the problem with that tomato sandwich is when you bite into it, the mayonnaise is gonna squirt out like a hard pecker.
No, what happens if you like hollowed out the middle of it and you just kept
it's gonna squirt out.
Just make it thinner slices. So instead of it being a small slice, just make like a half-inch slice on each side instead of the bread.
Use a goddamn bandsaw to get that thing
When you make a tomato sandwich, you need at least a half-inch of mayo in that thing. So if you put that with no bread,
just like mayonnaise.
Yes.
Oh, I grew up eating mayonnaise sandwiches. Loaf bread and mayonnaise.
Oh, that explains a lot about the gout and the weight. I do like mayonnaise, not to that level. That's a lot.
Well,
Like I'm not
at least
eat
it
out of
maybe
the
grow
jar
taller than
kinda
4 or 5.
Right.
like mayonnaise, but yeah, I'll
Right.
put it on there. You can't have a sandwich without mayo.
Josh, have you ever taken? All right, never mind. I'm not going to mention it. All right, have you ever taken? It's not mayonnaise, but have you ever like used sour cream as a straight up dip?
You use sour cream if you mix it with the ranch powder.
No,
Or
you
just
take
as an
sour
actual
cream
dip?
and then
Yeah,
you
I mean-
dip Cool Ranch Doritos into it. It is the fucking shit.
Oh, yeah, I do like nachos. Or I don't really eat Doritos like that, but yeah.
Yeah.
If I get hard up and I want some tater chips, I'll just take regular old scoops with some sour cream and go to town.
Look, the easiest meal you can make is a tortilla, some cheese, melt it together, roll it up, and sour cream is a dip in there.
You a poor ass motherfucker eating
Oh,
that
yeah.
Wait,
shit.
are you
I had to-
melting
I had
the
to come up.
cheese?
I'll put it on I'll sprinkle cheese on the tortilla and then heat
Right.
it up until it kind of gets melty and then roll it together.
Are
Like
you
little
heating
cheese
that up
taquitos.
on the stove or in the
pan?
microwave?
Yeah.
In the pan, okay.
Yeah, you
Microwave,
got to
you
get to eat that. You
strange
got to get
results with the microwave.
yeah,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get that. You can melt the cheese however you want, but I feel like to eat that and enjoy it, you need to put it on the pan and crispy up each side and flatten it down. I'll eat
I'm gonna
that
tell-
shit.
I'm gonna tell you what. Last year, I bought a panini press with the sole reason that I'm gonna cook quesadillas on it, and it's like changed my life on quesadillas, where I can cook these like multiple different things, almost like a crunch wrap, right? But you throw that bitch on the panini press. It's the best thing ever. We have gone way off topic for the last 20 minutes. Paul, do your stupid intro so we can get going.
Welcome to Bass and Brews Podcast, your weekly distraction
shut
from
up.
quality podcast content. We are here with Invasive Lures, which goes great with my invasive thoughts,
So,
and we're going to have a good time tonight. So, Harold,
tequila.
he's pouring tequila straight into a glass, and that tequila bottle looks like it is
Well, it's gone now.
expensive.
Yeah,
No,
that's,
this is-
It's
Hey,
kind of
Josh,
interesting
hold on
because
real
he's
quick. How
eating
do you
poor ass
explain that?
them.
How do I
or
explain
not
that?
explain that. How do you pronounce that tequila?
Espolón?
Espolón? Okay, I've always wondered. That's like my favorite tequila. And I can never, I always feel like I'm saying it wrong when I go to the store and I just go, the one with the skull guys on it. And that's usually how I
Well,
order
there's
it,
like
which is
3
probably
of those
worse.
too. But yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Espolón, and they got
Okay.
4 different versions, and Reposado is the relatively cheap one. There's
Okay.
Blanco, Reposado, and Yeho, which is the year, and then the
Ayo.
$100 double Añejo or 2-year age. But that's,
Oh no,
that's
I do
one
the
you get on special
Blanco
occasions.
one to make my drink of this summer is ranch waters. I know people have been drinking them forever, but it's that the Blanco with lime juice and Topo Chico. I guess people in Texas drink it all the time. It's fucking wonderful.
If you're ever just feeling bougie, try the Añejo. It's definitely
Okay.
a lot smoother than the Blanco. The Blanco's got
Y'all
red
over here
gasoline
mispronouncing
flavor.
some tequila names, and then
Yeah,
y'all
we
gonna
are.
try to pick on me on our text chain about salmon.
Anyways, go ahead, Paul. Finish your intro.
Josh, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
What is your journey, your fishing journey, that has brought you here today in front of the Bass and Brews Brewskis on this podcast on July 11th, 2024, the year of the rabbit, I think. It's the year of the rabbit or dog, maybe the cock. I think the cock was last year. Doesn't matter. We want to know what your journey is that's brought you here to us today, your fishing journey. What has made you such a handsome, fish-slaying motherfucker?
I do appreciate that. Probably starts with being born poor, so you have to kind of fix things to make them the better way. So when you start catching snakeheads and all your $15 bass lures from Bass Pro go out the window after 1 or 2 fish, you're like, yeah, forget this, man. I need to start making them better. So you start buying the parts, upgrading stuff, and then everybody else is like, hey, man, what are you catching them on? Oh, I'm catching them on this. Oh, well, make me one. Well, give me $10. All right. And then it just kind of snowballs until you've invested lots of money into a small lure business.
Have
And then you get onto a podcast to talk about it, I guess.
Have you ever lipped a snakehead because you're a badass dude?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's afraid of the teeth, but I'm just like, no, I'm just stick your, like, I have it on video. I'll open them up, put my thumb on the side of their mouth where there's no teeth, and pitch it in there. And then I'll just reach in and grab my lure out of there. I usually don't use forceps or anything unless it's pretty far in there. Like, if you snag them in the lip, it's not a big deal. If you get them in the tongue area, not that bad. But if they really pipe it, then by all means use the tools. But
Have
You need to do more. Hold on, Paul. You need to do more videos of you side lipping snakeheads and then being like, "Hey, you're a bitch if you use clips. Look what I can do." And just to see how many people are going to slice their hand up due to peer pressure.
yeah, I'm gonna get lawsuits off of that one.
No way. You just go, "Hey, only professional snakehead anglers can do this. Are you really a are you really that good? Send me your results."
Just disclaim it. Disclaim it.
Done
For
by a professional. Yeah.
Done by a professional.
I'll have to disclaim my entire social media account to be like, yeah, it's entertainment purposes only.
You're from the southeastern coast there, Josh. Growing up going to the beach, did you ever want to buy or see the little small shark jaws that they would boil and bleach? You know, it's just the jaw with all the teeth on it with an open mouth. Did you ever buy those? Did you ever see those?
I've
You
seen
know
them
what
in
I'm
the
talking
souvenir
about.
shops, but I mean, they're
Yeah,
souvenirs
souvenir
for a
shops.
reason, but we
Hey.
usually get them and they're still attached to the shark. So
Okay, well, we're not talking about that fucking shit right now.
Yeah,
we're
we
talking
are.
about the ones you buy at the souvenir shops, and I'm making a point here, so follow along and agree with me or don't say anything. Why haven't we started
mute you.
taking, and I will kick you out of here, and I will change the password.
Anyways, go ahead.
Why
Come on.
aren't the snakehead guys chopping the head off, bowling them, and making those jaw mouse to sell
some
like they
people
do the sharks?
Some people do. It's just a real pain in the ass process. So with the shark jaw, it's all still one piece when you boil it down. With the snakehead, it's like a tiny puzzle. So first you have to clean everything off of there, bleach it, set it out, let ants eat it, whatever you're going to do. And then when you got all those little pieces, you have to put them back together and glue them into shape. And they have a lot of tiny bones, and their skull has a lot of sockets and things like that. So it doesn't really it's not an easy process where you can just cure it and resell it. You have to take a lot of time. I was thinking about doing one and getting the skull of one and then set it up, put it in epoxy resin, and then make it like a sphere, and then you put it as a hood ornament.
Dude, that'd be fucking cool as shit. But also, again, Josh, you are impressing me so much. This is the second fucking
Hold on,
curveball. Hold on, stop.
Hold on, no.
Stop, Paul.
You just said you
stop.
are impressed me so much. The fuck kind of shit is that?
Anyways,
You are impressed
stop.
me so much. Did you just really say that shit out loud to everybody? You are.
Anyways, he's thrown you
Jeez.
another curveball, and you answered it with like a legitimate answer because you've tried it fucking before. Instead
Right,
of
and,
his
and he
ahead,
answered
Paul.
my question without saying it, so I'm going to say it. That's too much fucking work. So I understand why you don't do it now. I thought that maybe you just bowled the head, and you got a snakehead mouth with teeth in it, but it's not that easy, and that sucks. You know what? Fuck them snakeheads.
Are you done, Paul? Can I?
Unfortunately, that's most people's mentality.
Well, hey, so what brought you into snakehead fishing? It sounds like you didn't grow up doing that, but you kind of moved into it.
Yeah, when I lived in Maryland for a couple of years, and when I stopped doing touring in a band and doing that musician kind of stuff, you know, we got Maryland's got the Chesapeake Bay, it's got the Blackwater Reservoir, it's got all kinds of stuff, or watershed. So, being that snakeheads are there, when I was hanging out with my buddy Nate one day, he was like, let's go catfishing. I was like, that's kind of fruity, I don't want to do that. And he was like, come on, let's just go. So we went and we put some lines out and we caught like some tiny, I don't know, 20-inch catfish and stuff. I was like, this kind of sucks, bro. Is there any other kind of fishing around here? Because I grew up bass fishing and stuff. I was like, we could go bass fishing, but the bass fishing in Maryland's like pretty good sometimes, but for the majority of the time, it's like, it's a lot of, you got to be in a boat, you got to be moving. We didn't have boats. So I was like, yeah, let's just go fish for something else. And he's like, oh, my cousin was fishing for snakeheads down at the pier. I was like, well, what the fuck is that? And I started looking them up, and it's just like bass fishing, but they're more aggressive, and they eat topwater all year pretty much. So I was like, yeah, let's go do that. And my style of fishing is not just put some lines out and sit around. That's fine if you want to do that, but it's boring to me. I got the ADD, so I'm just like, I got to be constantly moving, constantly doing something while I'm out there. And I enjoy hunting down the fish. I don't like just sitting and waiting and see what comes up. We got plenty of that with saltwater fishing here. You never know what you're going to catch. Could be a ladyfish, could be a 6-foot shark. Who knows? But with snakehead fishing, once you start getting into it, then you realize the types of structure where all the fish are at, and you can just hone in and be casting all day. So that was a lot more fun. And then when you start breaking a bunch of lures, you're like, yeah, forget this. I can make my own for cheaper, and I'll catch more fish. So,
Wasn't Maryland the first state to have recorded snakehead? And this would have been like in the mid to late 90s, I believe. I remember seeing something about it. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Maryland was the first state to have, or the Delaware River, or somewhere up in that area, Chesapeake, Delaware, somewhere in that area, had the first recorded snakehead in the mid to late 90s or somewhere. Do you know that answer? Or if you don't, the listeners' message us.
Well, I know.
Here we go.
I know what the correct, supposedly correct answer is, and that they were caught in a pond in Crofton. Now, I've been past that pond a million times. I've had to drive up and down Route 3. There's no way. There's no way. So whatever that answer is, that's just a lie. That tiny pond is off of a golf course community. It's landlocked. There's no way they could have spread from there. But they're saying, yeah, the first one was caught there, but it was a pet. You used to be able to buy them at the pet shop. A lot of people would come over from overseas, and one of the things they do on vacation is like a good luck thing is to buy a fish and then release it. And being that there's a bunch of people from China came to vacation in D.C. and stuff like that, it's not too out of the way to think, oh, they bought a fish they know, snakehead, and they release it for good luck. It's one of their little rituals or whatever. And then they slowly acclimated because they're putting them in the water. Now, if you think that you're going to put them into a pond, the pond is like 150 yards across by like maybe 75 yards. They're surrounded by a highway and a golf course. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, I believe it's the Patapsco River is across the highway, but that's like 600 or 700 yards behind Aledo's is the closest access that they would have had to get into that waterway. So I just highly doubt that that's the actual truth. What I think would happen is people were releasing them for a long period of time. They probably had a pet shop that closed, and they just dumped a whole bunch of them. So sure, yeah. Could they have gotten into the pond from the Patapsco because it feeds in? Maybe. Could they have gone from the pond out? Probably not.
But well, Maryland was the first place. Alex, this is my line of questioning. Let me roll with it. Thank you. Jeez. You know what? Never mind. Go ahead, Alex. I'm done.
Hey, so I think that adds to the allure because I've heard that before, and it's because they can breathe out of water, right? So that's add to like this kind of
have to breathe air. They have to.
Right.
They're aggregate air breathers. It's not that they just can. They have to come up for air.
So like a fucking dolphin.
Yeah, it's like a mammal. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is because I've heard this. I've heard that story in Maryland, and then I heard that story on why the snakehead have supposedly traveled from the Delaware into ponds that don't touch because somehow they've traveled 800 to 900 yards, wiggled them way across the Atlantic City Expressway into this pond, which I fucking highly doubt all of that.
I highly doubt that. I have seen them move. I have seen them walk, per se. You could put them down 10 yards from the water, and when they get a little like, oh, nobody's looking at me, then they'll kick off and slide around back into the water. I don't have them crossing 6 lanes of traffic. You know, but I'm not crossing 6 lanes of traffic, and I'm a lot faster than a snakehead. So I doubt that's the case. But can they travel? Yes. If it floods and there's a few inches of water, yeah, by all means, they're going to search for fresh water or areas to move to. So you'll see them in like Cambridge and the Eastern Shore when it gets to a flood tide and the road is covered by water. Like you can't drive a truck over that. Oh yeah, you'll see them swim across the road.
That's nuts. So recently I've heard this new argument. By recently, I mean the last 2 months, where people are complaining because in the Delaware, they're kind of spreading a little bit into some other tributaries. And here, I know as much as people hate them, but we have a huge population of chain pickerel. I love the chain pickerel. I think it's a fun fish. I think the same way on why you like to fish for a snakehead, I like to fish for a pickerel, right? I think they're fun, but they are seeing supposedly a loss of population of the big ones. Now, I still think that's all bullshit. I think these are all different predators because I have totally seen pickerels in very shallow water, right? And just I can see half their body sticking out. And you can catch them, right? That's cool. But for the most part, they're not doing that. Snakehead goes way more shallow than a pickerel will, I think, consistently. They're and a pickerel is a very hardy fish.
What's your evidence for that?
For what?
For the fact that the fish population disappearing is bullshit because it's caused by the snakehead or pickerel or any other predator fish?
No, I was saying what's his evidence that he thinks that the snakehead will go shallower than the jackfish?
because they can breathe air. I've seen them in an inch of water. I've seen them out of water to the point where they're like resting. I have a video I just put on YouTube, but there's a pocket of reeds. There's about 2.5 inches of water under that pocket of reeds, and then there's like bushes and stuff growing up over it. I flip my frog in there. I flip it in there again. Pop, get a blow up, pull the fish out of there. And it wasn't a gigantic fish by any means, but he was sitting in 2 inches of water, just sunning. But he's in an area where birds can't get to him and stuff like that. So yeah, they go up into there. They're maze fish. They have to live in labyrinths and things like that. They're ambush predators, so they're looking for spots that they can hide from birds. They can hide from bait fish or anything that's going to come off the bank. They don't actually eat that many bait fish compared to the rest of their diet. Now they're opportunity eaters. If they're there, they're going to eat them. But for the most part, snakeheads actually eat things off of the bank more often than they do things that are swimming near them. It's less work for them.
What would you say their main forage is in the area you've caught them then?
Depends on the body of water. So like South Florida, their main forage is going to be frogs, large bugs, rats, mice, whatever comes off of the bank. They will eat bait fish, don't get me wrong. They will attack the fry of other species, just like the other species attack their fry, whatever. Bull minnows are kind of the one bait that works really well for them if you're going to use live bait, but I'm an adult, we don't do that. You'll get a lot more hits on frogs and creature style baits than you will off of paddle tails. They'll still eat them. Don't get me wrong. Like you can throw a chatter out there or a bladed jig, whatever, and they will eat it because they're opportunity eaters. That if it swims past them, there's a good chance they're gonna eat it. But you don't see them attacking schools of bait fish very often. Every once in a while, at like the beginning of the spring and the end of the fall, when they're trying to get real fattened up before wintertime, you will see them attack schools of bait fish, but it's kind of like similar to bowfin. You'll see them jump out of the water and they're kind of stunning a bunch of stuff and then go and pick them off the bottom. They're not waiting for stuff to come by and just eating it. So that's like a habit.
Bass are schooling fish. Typically when you see them attacking shad or any kind of bait fish, a lot of times they're doing it in the schools, especially in the summer times. Are the snakehead a schooling fish or are they solitary?
At certain times, yes, but most of the time, no. So their life cycle is a little bit different because when they're born, they're in a little clutch, right? And we call those the fry balls. You'll see what they look like if you just... I got videos on it, or you can look them up. But basically, they have to breathe air. So it looks like a little pocket of boiling water. And then the parent fish surround them and move them from body of water around.
Is that more than one fish? Is that like...
Usually, there's
like a
two.
Group of them? Okay.
So they pair up. So when they pair and spawn, then both the parents will protect the fry ball for a few weeks until they move to like a hunting ground or a growing area where there's less pressure from other fish. And then they will go back to doing whatever they're doing. During times where they migrate, they will school up. So
migrate.
So if there's like a big influx of fresh water, so let's say the Conowingo Dam or whatever releases a bunch of fresh water. So the snakeheads that are piled up there, they're going to follow that fresh water. So as it goes through the bay, they're going to go to different areas because the water in the bay is, salty. It's higher salinity than the water that's coming through the dam. So a large tunnel of fresh water is coming out of there, and they're going to follow that fresh water until they get, bothered, and they go, okay, let's go look for some more fresh water. So that's where they spread out from. During those times, or if they are following like a big rainstorm, there's just like a lot of fresh water coming down, they'll go up into that fresh water looking for that fresh water source. So during those times, they'll school up. Now, if you're out there fishing for them and you start catching them, there's a bunch of them in that area because whatever area you're in is supporting their feeding style. So if you catch one in a little pocket under some trees and there's a bunch of other pockets of trees around there, it's a good bet that they're going to be in there. They're not like swimming right next to each other, but they've all moved into that one area because it's beneficial for them. I wouldn't just be like, oh, I caught one and then move right off to some other different structure for no reason.
So very much like a pickerel or a pike, right? Like they kind of find their spots. But again, these fish get a lot bigger. They're they're very intriguing. That's why I haven't fished for them yet. We always talk about it. I really should because I'm so close to really good spots. They really intrigue me because I don't understand. There are, on the Delaware side. Yep.
I don't know. I don't know if you follow DCAM, but DCAM caught a pretty decent one.
Maybe a week ago. That's a good one. Yeah. We've actually got a lot of good ones over here, and I just haven't made it. I'm more towards the coastal side, and act like that's really far away. It's only like 45 minutes to an hour. I'm just fucking lazy, but they really intrigue me because they seem really fun because it's all the fun stuff that I like of pickerel fishing, aggressive fish. You don't have to be too nuts with your presentation, right? Just show something that they want to eat. With a bass, it can be really, you know how bass are. Like they're
It depends
fancy.
on the day. It depends on
Right.
the day. Sometimes
Does
they'll
it?
only eat one color. Sometimes it doesn't matter. I could go out there now and just pick. I'll bring 3 lures with me and just be like, yeah, if I don't catch them on this, and they're not eating.
Gotcha.
And you can bring 20 different color frogs. You can bring a bunch of paddle tails, whatever, and you might have that superstition like, oh man, they're only eating chartreuse paddle tails a day. No, they're not.
Dude, that was my favorite
catching
part. I picked up on one of your lives a week or two ago, and you were talking about colors. And one, I found this very refreshing coming from a small bait maker where everybody was calling out these colors. And you're like, listen, I'm going to make like 10 of these fucking colors. One dude's going to buy one, and then I'm stuck with these fucking 9 because nobody else wants it. Like, and I love the honesty on that side. Like, that's a very, like, business savvy point of like, hey, you don't really need all this other shit, right? And you're just providing colors that are going to catch. Now, if you want some goofy shit, well, just make sure you buy like 20 of them, because I'm not going to make 20 and only sell one. It makes total sense. But then I got to troll the whole time being like, no, you should make one that looks like a rainbow trout, because that's the best carp or crappie bait ever. Make sure that happens, which I really enjoy.
Listen, I'll make you the color. If you pay up front, I'll make you whatever color you want. I'm not going to guarantee you that it's going to catch fish. That was a you decision, not me. But I'll make it for you. I'll send it to you. It's not going to be any more expensive than the other stuff that I have, because it doesn't cost me anything different. Now, if I got to put, I don't know, freaking stars and glitter and all kinds of other junk in there, then yeah, you're going to pay a little more money. But that was a you decision. I make the stuff that I know catches fish. Sometimes I get surprised. Sometimes people are like, "Oh yeah, this is the color. You should try it." And then if people do custom orders for me, I make double the amount so that I have it to go fish. So it's just for research purposes. Like if you order, I don't know, frogs that are purple and green or something, I'll be like, "All right, I'm gonna make a couple extra ones, and I'm gonna go try it and see if this works or not." And 9 times out of 10, you're all wrong. And at one time, you're like, "Hey, you know what? This actually did work pretty good. So maybe I'll add it to the rotation."
So you said like, so again, what I also like about Snakehead is like summer, the fishing's still good. It's not like bass fishing where
It's better
like right
summer.
now it's hot as fucking shit in Jersey. It's been hot for a long time here, right? Bass fishing is kind of shut down, right? But snakehead fishing is still going strong.
Oh,
So you said you're going to bring these 3 lures out. What are those 3 that you're going to bring out in summertime right now?
Summertime usually there's more vegetation, so you can't really throw as many subsurface things. Now there's always the catch.
Right,
You could throw something somewhere at some point, I'm sure. But
Right.
I'm throwing a topwater frog, either a walking frog or a popping frog, something that doesn't move very much. I'm throwing any kind of frog that has a blade on it, topwater lure that has a blade on it, something that's flashy, and that's more of a search bait.
Hold on. A frog with a blade?
Yeah, you want to see one? I don't want to
Hell yeah, I wanna see
one.
plug
Absolutely.
product and stuff.
And I need to
Yeah.
I need to
Oh, you
purchase
can
one
plug
because
whatever you want.
I need to purchase one because that sounds like some shit a bass would eat down here in the Carolinas.
Probably.
You wouldn't know, Alex. You don't even catch bass.
I just said probably. Why are you so fucking aggressive today?
Because
Paul?
you've been a bitch to me the last week. and I'm not,
okay.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
So they'll have like a trailing blade, or maybe you got one that has like a buzzbait blade on
Oh,
the front. I don't
those
know.
are
But
those are male frogs.
I mean, if you
Yeah, those are male
inspecting 'em,
frogs. They got 2 little balls between their legs.
if you say so. But something that throws water around, something that makes noise,
Yeah.
it's going to attract them through the grass mats. If you throw in a light frog on a heavy cover, they're just not going to see it. I mean,
Okay.
you got to optimize your lure to the specific structure you're working with.
Sure.
So if you want to throw some, I don't know, BBs or weights or something into a frog to make it sink or have a little more impact on the water, it's just like one of those tricks. But if you want to move a moving bait and get that action where the fish comes up, follows it, and smashes your lure, which is way more exciting to me than like I threw it in a pocket, I can't even see my lure, and it's like all of a sudden I hear a blow up or I hear a pop, and you got to feel for tension. It's kind of a different game, but if you throw a lure out there and you're burning it back to the boat and they smash it, there's nothing more exciting than that.
So would that make a popping frog in heavy lily pads or something like that a little bit better option than a walking frog? Because that popping frog, when you pop it, it'll push those lily pad leaves out of the way and keep itself in the water instead of skirting across the top.
It depends on how dense the lily pads are. So in Maryland, the lily pads grow up out of the water. I don't know if they're actual lily pads. They're called like elephant ears or whatever they want to call them. And then we got arrowhead bushes and stuff like that. So all the vegetation is up above the water. So if you're throwing line through that, it can be difficult to get a popping frog back without spooking up all the vegetation. Now, if you have lily pads that are on the water or pond scum or anything that's on the water, then yeah, throwing the popping frog is going to push water down, make that noise, give it a little splash, but stay in the pocket. So, I mean, we got those too. I call it the chuggernaut because it chugs water. It makes a chugging sound. It doesn't just spit water out. It kind of mimics that sound.
Sorry, audio listeners.
When the snakeheads pop at something, that's like they bite, they try and suck everything in. It makes a popping sound in the water. If you can imitate that popping sound, it makes them think that there's another snakehead trying to eat stuff in their area. So that's why the popping frog is really effective. Just make that extra bit of noise.
Hold on, Paul. Because if I don't let out this thought, it's not going to get thunk. It's a two-part
You're
question.
learning. 3 years, you're learning.
It's a two-part question. So, one, how long have you been doing this snakehead thing, right? And two, so what made you dive in? Because we've had snakehead folks on here before, and I've heard a lot of people talk a lot of stuff about snakehead, right? And everything that I've seen from you comes from a very like scientific, like either you put the work in or you've looked at legit research. So what kind of made you like dig into that portion of the fishing?
Talk about the researching and the fishing and finding out like the habits of the fish.
So when did you get into snakehead, and then when did you decide to devote this much? Like, again, a lot of people talk about snakehead and they talk about kind of like general stuff about it, right? You talk with points and facts. Like, what makes you to dive deep into snakehead fishing?
Probably the ADD.
Okay.
When I get into anything, I research a shit ton out of it. I mean, it's like when I'm in, I'm all in. I've heard that from a lot of other people that are in fishing. It's like, I just started this hobby and I'm in it, and then it just carries forward. You know what I mean? But I'm like that with everything. So if I were to learn 3D modeling, then I watch 10,000 hours of freaking 3D modeling videos. If I want to learn how to play guitar like I did, it was like that. So it's just kind of personality as far as like the rabbit hole. But snakehead being a fish that not everybody has, it's not like bass fishing. You can go search bass fishing and you're going to get opinions that are both sides of the spectrum, no matter what question you type in. You know what I mean? But with snakehead fishing, there's like a very obvious way for me to be like, does this work or does it not work? Because the fish don't have opinions. They will eat or they won't. So you get that tangible facts. So you go out there and you can throw something all day, and if it doesn't work, you're like, man, this is trash. And then you change it up, and then all of a sudden they start eating. You're like, oh, well, now I know why. So you get like an instant reward. Either you're on or you're not. There's no in between. So being snakehead fishing is something that I like to do. It's just more exciting than catfishing. The bass fishing in Maryland's okay. It's not great. I mean, it's okay. You don't.
What about Florida? You're in Florida
bass
too.
Fishing is like, yeah, if you want to catch 10,000 dinks in your occasional like 6-7 pounder, it's great. But it gets boring after a while, to be honest. Like, you could throw a trick worm out there for an hour and catch 15 fish, and you're like, ooh, I caught 15 dinks. Doesn't really mean anything. It depends on what your goals are, I guess. If you just want to go out there and catch a ton of fish, sure.
Yeah.
But if you want to go out there and catch a 12-pounder, it's going to be a different way of fishing for them.
Right.
So same thing with like, I can target bass specifically, or I can target snakehead specifically by throwing different stuff. Now, if you throw a frog, they're going to eat it if they're there, no matter what. But I'm not throwing anything subsurface for bass if I'm fishing for snakeheads.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
So you can just switch completely. So it's different enough that you can be like, I'm targeting snakeheads today, but it's similar enough that the techniques are kind of the same. So it's not like a big learning curve. You just have to know, okay, these are the types of things that they want to eat. These are the structures they're at, and you know what to look for. And that's kind of the search.
And I'm guessing as a dink snakehead is probably bigger and a better fight than a dink bass.
I don't know. I don't know about that, to be honest. Because when you go snakehead fishing, you're using a bigger rod. So when you catch that 9-inch snakehead that doesn't weigh anything, you just lift it up out of the water, or you set the hook like it's going to be a giant because you can't really tell. I mean, the little ones will hit it hard.
Yeah.
But after that, they just go flying. Like I sent one probably 8 or 9 feet in the air the other day because he hit right at the side of the kayak, and I set the hook because I wasn't looking. I was looking at where I was going to cast next. So I'm reeling it in, and right next to the kayak, he goes pop, and I just went rip and sent him probably 8 feet in the air. I'm looking up at him, and I was like deciding whether I was going to dodge or not.
The whole
luckily
time
he hit the water instead of the kayak.
It's just I believe I can fly.
I believe I could fly.
My initial thought was, oh shit, oh Free Willy, and then he hits the water.
Free Willy. He pulls the Free Willy reference. Hey, for younger kids, it was a movie about a whale that they stop, Paul. That we're gonna get copyright because you sound exactly like him. That's gonna be the issue. But yeah, Free
He's got
Willy
the same
is
acne
whale.
scars I do. His a little bit worse though.
Seal didn't sing that.
Yes,
But
he did.
only one of those. One of
R.
you guys
Kelly.
have been with Heidi Klum. So.
It's R. Kelly, not Seal. And Seal or R. Kelly didn't have acne scars. Seal did.
Yeah, but Seal also did something in that movie.
No, he didn't. You're thinking of Batman.
Yes, he did. No,
You're thinking of
that's a good
Batman.
one too.
no.
Yeah, Kiss from a Rose is what you're thinking of. I already
the
know
Jack
that.
Black version.
The Jack Black did a version of that?
The Jack Black version of.
I didn't know he did one.
Rose. Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh. Well, while we're here, hey, real quick.
Can I go back to ask my question that I was going to ask before I was rudely interrupted by Alex on his question?
Yeah, go for it. Paul.
I'm going to take it back a minute. You said that they'll eat rats and mice and shit, and then I was asking about a popper going through some heavy stuff. Do you ever throw the big rat wake bait type things? Because that seems like that would be able to work through and stay in the water too. Do you ever throw any rat shit?
I personally don't throw anything with treble hooks because of the structure. During the very early part of the year when the vegetation doesn't grow up very high, sure, go for it. I know people that catch them on the S waivers and shallow diving cranks and stuff like that. So it's possible you can do it. But the ones I'm looking for are the ones that live in their little dragon dens back there that are just a pocket inside of 3 feet of hydrilla, or they're on the shore. So you're not going to get anything with treble hooks back if you throw it in there.
Makes sense. Okay.
Or you'll disturb all the stuff. You might get it back, but you're going to ruin the spot after the first
You'll be
cast.
pulling back half a pound of grass and shit with you. Okay.
If you're on a submerged grass mat or something, like you see that there's hydrilla growing up, but it's a foot under the water,
Right,
go
pop it
for
over
it.
the top.
You can. But I don't know if they're going to work any better or worse than a topwater frog at that distance. It's not like you're fishing deep for them. Snakeheads will go deep sometimes. Just depends on how they feel, I guess. But the water in Maryland, you got maybe 6 feet total.
Right.
My last question before I
think-
let Alex get back to it. Damn, Bo, can I ask a fucking question?
No, it was a rebuttal to that one, but go ahead. Go ahead, Paul.
You go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, because if it's a rebuttal to that,
It is.
then mine is not, and it's a different. It's going in different directions.
No.
So you go ahead.
Yeah, that's perfect. So this is going to go in the same way. God, you're fucking pissing me off today. Anyways,
You
Josh
got a
is
stupid hat on tonight.
Not only has Josh cemented himself in Bass and Brews history with the beard, but now he's elevating, I think, snakehead fishing up to. We always talk about these sub cultures within fishing, right? And we've talked about swim bait fishing a lot on this show because it's fucking cool, right? But did anybody catch where Josh said, "I want to throw it back into the dragon's den"? Like, how fucking cool is that? Like, that sounds way cooler than I'm going to throw it back in the bass barn. Dragon's Den is way cooler than Bass Barn.
And I'm
That's why we
talking
like
about a
snakehead.
specific type of structure as well.
What's that?
The big snakehead, I have a theory. I don't have any scientific facts to back this up, but I have a theory that the smaller fish get bullied out of position. So when you see fish that are jumping or hitting stuff out further away from the bank, it's because they don't have the good hunting positions. They're bullied out by the bigger fish. I catch bigger fish closer to shore. I mean, it's fishing, maybe not. But most of the time, I catch bigger fish that are right on the bank closer to shore in the ambush structure. So when I say dragon's den, they will make not a nest per se, but they have a little area where they'll have a crescent-shaped cutout. So if you ever see a crescent-shaped cutout, that's snakehead size. Now, if it's a tiny pocket, no. If it's like 1.5 feet to 2 feet across, that's a good indicator that there's a snakehead in there. They've made a little pocket in the vegetation. They're waiting for things to come off the bank. They're waiting for something to
Shoot
hit
out
that
into
hole. So if you have overhanging like trees or bushes whatever, and there's a little pocket that's 2 to 3 feet long, and you see a hole in the vegetation on top of the water, that's a pretty good indicator that there's going to be a snakehead there. So they make little dens where they can hide from the birds. They can ambush anything that's coming off of the sticks, the logs, whatever's coming out of, shore, offshore, into their little pockets, and they'll blow up on it. So when I tell people, like I'm trying to show people how to catch snakehead, I'm like, you got to throw it into that tree. And they'll throw it in front of the tree. I'm like, no. You got to throw it under the tree. Like, you see dirt, hit the dirt. And they're like, well, I can't cast that far. I'm like, well, get a little bit closer and cast it in there, because they're not going to hit it unless they see it come either hit the pocket right perfect or move right into that little line of sight for them. And they make a little lap, so they might have a little area where they kind of patrol. But for the most part, they just sit there and sun. So if they're not actively out feeding, they're just waiting for stuff to come by to them because they're opportunity eaters. So they set up a little opportunity, like a little sniper's nest, basically. Anything that comes in my line of sight, they're going to eat it. But
Again,
they make a deer stand.
Pretty much.
Make a little deer stand.
They got like a little blind that they can see out, and they're protected from everything else. So if you hit that pocket just right and give it enough time, like sometimes you can throw it in there and wait a minute and they'll eat it. Sometimes you throw it in there and you eat lunch and come back 12 minutes later, and as soon as you move that frog, boom, that's when they blow up on it.
What the fuck kind of birds you got that's going in there for 9 and 10 pound fucking snakeheads?
Bald eagles.
Osprey, really?
Oh yeah, I've seen them carry them out.
Osprey will pick one out that big.
Well, I believe a osprey will over a bald eagle. Bald eagle's a trash hunting fish. Like a osprey is a hunting motherfucker.
I don't know. I've seen eagles in the tree with pretty big snakeheads hanging off the limb.
Yeah, I'm just making a difference that the bald eagle is our national bird and it's a cool bird and all, but the
again,
fucking osprey is a better bird than a bald eagle. They're not hunting them out
of the middle of the water. They
right, that's what I'm saying.
And grab them. They don't really have anywhere to go. The snakeheads, they don't see them coming.
You know why osprey is better than a bald eagle and why that bitch is a hunting motherfucker? When an osprey catches a fish, they catch the fish and they can invert their legs to turn the fish where the head of the fish points towards their head. So when they come out of the water and fly, the fish is parallel to their body. And so it makes them more aerodynamic, whereas a bald eagle just goes down and catches a fish, and that's why those bastards can't have to get the bitch out, because they're trying to fly with the fish perpendicular to their body, and they got so much drag they can't do it. The osprey is a hunting motherfucker. Mm-hmm. I love an osprey.
I do know that ospreys will tear up a bald eagle. I mean, we saw that live on television back in, what was it, 98?
When did we all see that?
Not being political, but there was a White House administration, I'll just put it that way. They rescued a bald eagle, and they nursed it back to health. Yeah. And they were going to release the bald eagle. And they get all the news conference out, and everybody's like, oh, so majestic. They released the bird. The bald eagle takes like 15 wing flaps. It's up in the air, and 2 ospreys come out and just absolutely murked that thing. I mean, just tore it to shreds live on television. Everybody's freaking out and everything, and I'm laughing.
I fucking love when nature circumvents like shit that we want to think is cool. Like
when nature's
yeah, exactly.
Nature's
when
ruthless.
somebody's like, oh my god, I nursed this bunny, it's so cute, and they let it run out to the woods, and then a fucking eagle swoops down and instantly eats it. It's like my favorite thing because that's how it's supposed to be.
Or their cat annihilates it as it's running off into the woods. Their house cat.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. So back to my question. You said sometimes snakehead will go deep. What's snakehead fishing like in the wintertime? And this can be in Maryland and Florida, both of those scenarios in the wintertime. Are you catching them fishing in the winter? And if you are, how do you fish for them then?
Yes, but it depends on the temperature. So being that they are fish, they are cold-blooded animals. If the water temperature is about 45.
A while, I have to interrupt you, and he's not here to defend himself, but we did it live. It was on a podcast. I asked him if fish were cold-blooded or not, and he guessed that they were, but it was a complete guess. He's such a dumbass.
All right, so if the water temperature is below about 45 degrees, then they kind of shut down. They actually hibernate. So northern snakeheads hibernate, bullseye snakeheads do not. As far as we can tell, because they live in warmer climates just all year.
Florida,
I don't think they can hibernate. Maybe they can, but there's no proof to show that they do or do not. Usually they don't survive in cooler climates, and probably because they can't hibernate. Whereas The northern snakeheads will. Like, there's a special scientific term for fish hibernation, but it's the same thing. Basically, they go dormant, their heart rate slows way down, they don't have to expend any energy, and they just kind of wait it out. Now, that being said, they do have to eat sometimes. So if the lake is completely frozen over, then you're probably not going to catch them. But if you got a couple of warm days and the water temperature gets above 45, then you can catch them the same way you would catch them during the summer. It's just a lot less likely because there's less of them up in the water. Early March, you might get that heat coming through, and it warms the water temperature up to 45, 50, and you can catch them. Same thing you would do, but probably more subsurface lures. You got less vegetation. I still throw like a weedless spinner, inline, offset, doesn't matter. But throw a spinner, slow, something with vibration that you can put right in their face. They're opportunity eaters. They're still gonna have to eat at some point. They're not actively out jumping and chasing minnows or anything like that, but again, if they're not in hibernation mode, they have to eat. So you can do the same thing, a bladed jig, chatter, swim jig. It doesn't matter. If you're hopping stuff around in Snakehead area, you'll probably catch one. The bite is not as good. I mean, it's not like in the middle of the summer you can go out there and catch 15 of them in a day or whatever. But you might catch a couple. It's still possible.
All right, so swim jig.
I got to hop off real quick. I'll be back in like 10 minutes.
Goodbye. You didn't have to tell anybody. Goodbye. Be a professional, dickhead. Anyways, swim jig. I love swim jig fishing. That's like my favorite moving bait ever. But you said they're not the biggest fan of the paddle tail. Are you rolling like a creature? Like doing the dual flappers? Because that's
I usually throw
more.
a frog. I'll throw a plastic frog. Now, when I said they're not the biggest fan of that, I mean, they will eat it, but it's not the same thing. Like, if you're out there just straight up fan casting, they're going to eat like an inline spinner, like a MEP style spinner. I have one, whatever. But they're looking for shiny, they're looking for flashy, they're looking for something like that. If you throw a paddle tail out there and you're not like sight fishing them.
No, I mean with a swim jig, like up in the deep shit. With a swim, like, do you want a paddle tail on the back or do you want a creature bait on the back of that swim jig?
I would probably throw a craw. If I'm doing a jig for snakeheads, I'm not really just like burning it back to the boat.
You slow, or
I'm
you
just gonna slow roll it. I'm gonna hop it a few times.
Gotcha.
Even with chatters, I do the same thing. So bladed jigs, I'll throw it up and do a stump and let it sit there for a second and give it a hop, and then wait, give it another hop, and then take off. And usually about the second hop or when you start to take off, that's when they come get it. But they're kind of inquisitive, and they don't move that fast. You'll be surprised how slow a snakehead can move. They'll move right up to it and look right at it. I've thrown paddle tails right into a snakehead. You'll see them swim by. You'll throw it right up into the weeds, pull it right out in front of them, and they just slow down. And they look at it, and you can't really do anything with your paddle tail except for leave it on the ground. So if it just comes right by them, if they're not really actively interested in eating, they're just gonna leave it alone. So it's not like they hit anything that moves, but they'll eat it if they're hungry. That's just kind of the way it goes.
And then maybe you cover this when I was pissing into my sub pump. Rest in peace, my neighbor. Sorry, that's going to go right down your driveway, but that's just how the brakes are. So when so obviously the frog is the king here, right? That's the best way to catch them. Everybody I've talked to, that's the funnest way. It's the funnest way, right?
Because it's the most. It has the most utility. It doesn't mean that they're only eating frogs. It's just that it has the utility to get in front of them.
I get that, but is it the same? All right, so so here's my concern, and I haven't even gone yet. I really want to. I just found out, Josh just texted me. He knows all the fish head spots in Maryland and New Jersey, so check the description. He's going to give all the Latin longs. No, I'm just joking. But anyways.
I can give you public access spots. I'm not going to give you like the secret spots, but I'll give you spots that have snakeheads in them. You're just going to be a little more pressured.
But if you join patreon.com/Bass and Brews, Josh confirmed that he will give. No, I'm just joking.
I will give you all the spots of people I don't like. How about that?
Perfect. No, so like when you're frog fishing, there's a little bit of a learning period, right? Because you don't want to set right into it when a bass hits a frog, right? Is it the same thing with a snakehead? Because I've heard that you kind of got to wait a little bit longer, right?
It's same, but different. I don't know. It's more intuitive. Like, you kind of have to feel for it. When everybody's like, just wait 3 seconds before you set the hook. Yeah, you lost the fish. I don't get that's just wrong advice.
Gotcha.
It's a good starting point. It's a good way to get people to like get in the mode of like, don't just yank when you get a bite. But realistically, you got to feel for tension. So what I usually suggest, and I've said this in a bunch of videos, and I see so many people that are like, I've never caught a fish on a frog. They don't work. And I'm just like, maybe you just suck. And I got the proof.
100%.
I don't want to put it out there like it's on you.
No, 100%.
It's on you. You got to feel for tension. So one of the things you can do to improve your hookup ratio is start with when you're retrieving your frog, keep your rod tip up in the air. Now, if you're walking a frog and it's down low, it's a little bit different. But the other thing is, try and keep the slack out of the line.
Right.
So that when they do hit it, you don't have to take up as much slack, or you're not just immediately like, oh, I have to take up all the slack in my hook set. So I say keep the rod tip up high, reel down until you feel tension. And then if you feel something, then set the hook. Now, they'll grab the side of it. They'll grab the skirt, whatever, but...
Hold on, that's after you see like the initial like popping off the top, right? Still reel down until you feel the weight and then crack them.
Oh, yeah, because like I said, they're very slow. They'll come right up to a bait. And just because you hear a pop doesn't mean they ate it. The pop means that they've sucked it off of the surface, and they could be holding on to the skirt. They could be holding on to the side of the body, whatever. But if you start reeling up and you feel some tension and they're swimming off with it, it's like 50-50. Like either they got it in their mouth where the hooks are at, or they don't. So either way, swing on it, because you're not going to hit it if they feel some hook and they spit it back out.
Right. All right, that's Yeah.
I mean, that's tension. That's the way to go. That's why moving baits are kind of interesting too, because if you're throwing a frog out there and you're just letting your line sit and you feel that pop, you have to reel up all that slack and then swing.
Right.
And it gives you that little bit of timing. But if you're running a moving bait, right, and it's coming back towards you, you're just reeling in your little bladed frog and you're coming across the surface. Just because it's moving forward doesn't mean there's no slack. You know what I mean? Like it seems relatively tight, but there's no weight on it. When the fish hits it and there's all that weight on it and they're coming with it, it's going to create more slack, or they hit it sideways and just take off. You'll feel the tension immediately. So if they pop right behind it and they're swimming with it, you still have to take all that up and then swing on it. But if they come sideways on it, it's a little more interesting, because you're going to get that immediate feeling of, oh, that fish has got this bait. So you swing the opposite direction. Because if you swing with them, it gives them an opportunity to swim away.
Pop out. Yep. So we could say specifically with what you're talking about here, like you're talking about you're moving these frogs kind of quickly through it, right? Like it's not like we were talking about before. It's not like walking frogs. You're talking about something where
it depends.
Okay.
To me, it depends on the structure. So heavier structure, you're not moving your lure so much. Okay.
Yep.
Now, if there's like a reed line and some grass, I will fish at the reed line, put the frog in there, wait to see if anything comes by, and then start working the frog back and give it the walk, or run it a little bit faster. It depends on the day. Middle of summer, you can run your baits faster. Middle of winter, you're just going to sit there and let it sit there.
Right.
If you're not getting active strikes when you have moving baits, try putting it in pockets that look fishy. It looks like a dragon den. It looks good. And then just leave it there for a while. Just leave it there for a while. Like I said, I've had them eat after 30 seconds. You give it a twitch and then they blow up on it. Or 12 minutes go by, you have a whole cigarette, you eat your sandwich, and you're like, all right, let's change spots. And as soon as you go to move your lure, boom, they blow up on it. And you're like, oh, shit. But they sit there and look at it for a long time.
After this podcast, we need to talk about how you need to start either a monthly or bi-monthly podcast called The Dragon's Den. And it's just you talking about snakehead fishing, but mostly because the name is fucking awesome. And I know they use that in
that would be the fastest way to have the second worst podcast ever.
All right. Well, speaking of second worst podcast, Paul's not here. We just suck. He's going to miss a new segment. This new segment is brought to us by Dave, a.k.a. Wolf of Walmart. He recommended an idea, and the idea is called the worst of the month, right? And it's kind of the worst video that me and Paul, or Paul and I, as he would say, kind of sees during that month. And it could be fishing related or whatever else, right? And, I mean, obviously it's got to be clean enough, but like still dirty enough for Bass and Brews. And like, I'm going to be clear. I'm going to describe this video. This is the first ever Bass and Brews Dickhead of the Month. And I'm going to describe the video, but I'm going to play it right now. If you want to see it, you can head over to YouTube. It's Bass and Brews Podcast, you know, all the normal shit. But here it is real quick.
Who are the young college girls going to sleep with?
Yeah, so to be clear, what we showed was a video of a lady saying who are the young college girls going to sleep with. And it was a dirty old fucking man who had a button-up shirt with maybe one. Josh, how many buttons do you think he was up? One, maybe two?
Oh, I wasn't looking at the buttons, brother. But there weren't many.
There weren't many. Hey, if you are an old dude, I get it. Like, you're trying to get whatever you can. I don't think TikTok is the right move. I think it's fucking creepy. I think you can go down to your local watering hole and be creepy there. You fucking probably shouldn't either. You know what I mean? Sorry.
I don't know, man. I've seen some legends at the local watering club. The 80-year-old guy that still has the Dale Earnhardt mullet and everything.
Yeah, but do you think this guy that I just showed is pulling that?
You'd be surprised. Not quality.
Right. No, he's pulling quantity for sure. And I'll save that for later. But
quantity
listen,
on the scale, maybe.
If you are an old dude, don't go on social media trying to get dates. I don't think it's a good move. I think you are the dickhead of the month for July. So,
I think it depends on the context. If you're doing it as a joke, I find that shit funny. Like, if you're doing it specifically, like, I know this is a joke.
Josh,
different. But if you're doing it for real...
Josh, I'm going to play this again. Is this a joke or real?
Who are the young college girls going to sleep with?
Well-dressed and do all that and not just sitting there unbuttoning
Listen,
everything. I think there's a little level of humor. A Werther's level of humor.
No, dude. I just double-checked. He had two buttons, but everything was tucked into his gut, and then he decided to unbutton past his gut. And I do not think that was a joke, because if you look at the comments, he made multiple ones where he's looking for sugar mamas.
Yeah, that changes the context of the entire video.
Baby.
Always go
Sugar
look
baby,
at the context.
Yes,
always go look, always go look at the comments. That will. Everybody runs there. That's how you know.
Listen, we crush with the older gentlemen like me and Paul are. Hey, don't just openly try to date on TikTok. Don't be an asshole. So that's the first ever dickhead of the month.
That applies to women as well.
100%. I'm not going to argue that at all. Like, I think we all need to have a little more social media.
You've been in my lives.
I have been. They're hey,
they're interesting.
So I will say everybody should go check him out. The Invasive Lure lives are fun because he does a really good job of responding to everybody in his very normal tone as you're getting here, which is awesome. But I have caught him not responding to some comments because they're so out of pocket, and it's fucking hilarious.
That's the thing. Like, if I could defend myself the way I want to without the TikTok being mad at me, then I would respond to every content. But I literally cannot say the things that I would say. Yeah. Not saying that they're like terrible or anything like that, but like if somebody comes in and they troll me, I troll them right back. But I can't do that on that platform.
Correct. I mean, you can't. And again, so my new favorite thing is whenever he's live and I got a little bit of time, is I do try to stir it up, where I continue to ask for crappie baits, like what's the best frog for crappie baits, and because it pisses people off, and then I can watch you squirm because you don't want to be an asshole.
Well, my new favorite thing is to just like if somebody argues with you or they're trying to get a rise out of you, I just suggest them more products. Like I'm the used car salesman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, oh, perfect. Those topwater lures are trash. Who would ever put a blade on there? I'm like, hey, I got worms if you can't fish, brother. It's fine. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, go ahead, and maybe you'll be more interested in our swim baits.
You. I fish a lot of worms. Fuck you. No, now I'm triggered.
Yeah, they work. They're easy.
Exactly.
That's why we got worms.
That's funny as shit.
I wouldn't make worms if people weren't out constantly asking me like, oh, will you make these? Okay.
Listen, Paul's not here, so we can talk shit now a little bit. I will say, oh shit, he's back. God damn it, he's back.
Ruined, Brian.
Oh. Hey, Paul, we just got...
Hello.
Hey, Paul, we just got done with an in-depth conversation, so we need your opinion on this. What is the right move for the economics of the United States?
Josh.
That's a good answer.
Are you catch and release? Are you catch and release, or are you eating them big bastards?
All right. Well, first
that's
of
a good
all,
question.
that's a touchy subject in the world of snakehead fishing because you got the 50-year-old people that have never released a fish in their life that are telling you that you have to kill every single fish you've ever seen, and then they get mad if
The
I'm just
bucket
like, I'm gonna
brigade.
throw these bass up on the bank, and they'll freak the fuck out. I don't do it. I don't kill anything unless I'm gonna eat it. That's just the way it goes for me. That's the way I was raised. I don't know. You can do whatever you want. It's your fish. But if you bow fish and you just kill 150 fish just to kill them, and then you try and pawn them off on somebody else, you're an asshole.
Oh man.
You're an asshole. I mean, if you go out there twice a year and you kill a bunch of them and you stock the freezer, whatever. If you go out there every weekend and then you're like, I don't know why there's no snakeheads. I don't know why there's no catfish. Well, you motherfucker. That's why.
Hold on.
I'll tell you this.
Hold on.
It
Hold
hurts.
on, Paul.
Jeez,
Time out.
My,
Josh, in
is
lieu
my
of what you
segment.
just said, I'm changing our asshole of the month. Our new asshole of the month is the dickhead who fucking bow fishes and then just dumps that bitch on the side. You are the asshole of the month of July, not the creepy old dude who wants to sleep with a bunch of younger women. We'll get back to that. I'm sure he'll come around for August, but you are absolutely right. If you go out there and you kill a bunch of carp or fucking whatever it is, and then you just dump that
carp
bitch
are
on the
fair
side.
game. Fuck
Well,
them
here's,
carp.
here's
you.
what I try and say, because I try and give people facts. Now, some people are impervious to facts, but I still offer them anyway for the other people that might be reading the comments. If you go out there and you're like, I'm going to kill a bunch of these fish because they're bad for the waterway and it'll help all the other fish, but then you leave a pile of fish on the bank, you're actually doing more harm because the ammonia and the runoff and all the other the moss and everything that will grow afterwards from leaving that pile of dead fish, right? That's going to do worse for the environment. But again, it goes back to that thing of like, oh, are these fish really bad for the environment? The answer is no. Are they good for the environment? Should we kill them all? Whatever. The biggest thing that harms waterways is people. Human interaction with the waterway is the number one problematic thing for fish, nature, whatever's in the water in general. Construction runoff, pollutants, people leaving their fishing rods at the bottom of the water, Jabber.
Nope, I saved that bitch. It's back at my house right now and still hadn't been cleaned. Hey, I said this
probably
a couple
sprayed that off a little
episodes. Yeah, sprayed off it, but it's a Shimano reel. That thing could have spent a year under there
all right.
and pulled it up and been fine.
That thing's falling out.
I said this a few episodes ago that anglers are actually the biggest pollutants of fishing because you think about all the
They can
plastic
be.
we leave out there, all the
can
line we leave out there, all the lead, all the hooks, all the shit. And how many anglers do you know that'll take a worm off because, it's torn or whatever? They want to put a new one on. They take it off, and instead of dropping it in the bottom of their kayak or boat, they fling that shit out in the water.
Wait.
Anglers
wait.
are the
Hold
biggest polluters of our waterways. We leave more shit in the water
First
than
of all, I'm going to need you to
anybody that
stop
gets out
talking
there.
before the EPA starts listening.
And you know what?
No
That's what
shit,
the
right?
guest said. The exact same thing. The guest said when I said this. But
I told PETA the other day in a comment, I said, send your strongest vegan to the parking lot. Meet me there.
I don't know. I've seen some big ass motherfucking vegans, dude. You be careful what you ask for.
Wait, what's that UFC guy?
They all have brittle bone disease.
That's okay. Look,
Hold on. Dude,
they
wait,
hit
wait,
you
wait.
first.
Wait. Everybody hit us up in comments. Is at bassandbrews@gmail.com. Like, I legitimately, I want a truthful answer. I won't blow up your name or anything. Do you legitimately throw your discarded soft plastics into the fucking water? Like, again, I want to know. Like, I've never done that. Like, obviously, if a fish tosses one, that's what it is, right? You can't help it.
For the record, we only use floating plastic, so you can scoop up your plastic if it gets torn off from a fish. So
Well, I'm gonna go back.
Wait.
Go ahead,
Who's
Alex.
we? Who's we? You got a mouse
Me.
in your pocket?
me at Invasive Lures.
Okay, I got you.
The-
All right.
The royal
Well,
we.
he
The
is,
royal
he
way.
is everything. So he's the admin assistant.
At this
He's the
point,
janitor.
yeah. I got different hats. I got 6 different hats on at one time.
Dude,
sometimes.
how do you handle when you go off on a live? How do you handle now that you're the HR person too? Do you sit in the mirror and chastise yourself?
I don't know. I do my best, but I always stand by what I say. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just different. Like, I'm not just gonna sit here and lie to you for no reason. That doesn't make any sense to me. But if I say some shit and it turns out that I'm wrong, usually I preface things like, if I don't know what I'm talking about, I'll tell you like, I don't really know, but I will tell you what I think if you want to know. Or
and
what
if somebody
I would do in that
corrects you,
situation.
then you're like, thank
Then I'll be
you
like,
for the
"All right,
correction.
fine. Yeah, okay.
Hey,
That's not
hell
true.
yeah, I
That's
just
not
learned
true.
something.
That's
I just
not
learned
true.
something.
Listen, I'm going to be clear. Invasive Lures, if you have wrong information, he'll block you. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. That's not real.
Hey, I want to back it up a little bit.
If you put wrong information out there as truthful information, then I will block you because I just don't have time for that shit.
I agree.
We'll
yeah,
back up
good
a little
for you.
bit about eating them. We've heard from quite a few of the folks at Snakehead say it's awesome, it's delicious.
Have you eaten them?
I've gotten on the TikTok side of stuff where people
Well,
are
I've eaten
cooking
northers.
it.
I haven't eaten any bullseyes. Because the place where I go fishing for them is like runoff ponds behind the Andes and stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to eat
so I'm
that
just
shit.
not eating that.
Look,
Wait.
just saw something today. Like 80% of Okefenokee is not livable for bass anymore because of all the bullshit going anywhere. That's a different conversation.
Hold on.
You
don't want to eat anything that comes from Florida, but you're like, Maryland, I will. So
It depends on the water. Like I said, if I'm
just saying,
fishing
how
in
bad is
Pasadena,
your-
Maryland, fuck no. If I'm fishing over there in like
Crumpton,
Baltimore.
Blackwater, but Baltimore, don't touch the water. You will get a flesh-eating bacteria, and you'll probably get fentanyl poisoning.
No, I'm going to say,
Yeah.
just so you guys
don't fish
know,
in Baltimore. Just put it that way.
official statement from Josh from Invasive
Actually, no,
Lures.
I lied. My favorite fishing spot for snakehead is Cherry Hill. You should definitely go there after 10 o'clock at night. It's the best fishing. So,
Listen, Josh says only eat snakehead from Baltimore because it's a two-sided deal. It's a delicious fish, and you
actually,
get an awesome addiction.
What I've been telling people is that the Delaware River is so poisoned, and the DNR will tell everybody,
yeah.
oh, you can eat X amount of snakehead. They don't have any poisons in them. There have been so many new reports of people having mercury poisoning from eating them out of the Delaware that the DNR is now, their whole thing was first they demonized the fish.
Yeah.
Then they want to make it a commercial thing. So they're like, oh, we're changing the name to Chesapeake Chana. That sounds like an STD. That's a terrible idea, but that's the government. So what do you know?
dude, that is a fucking great stripper name, Chesapeake Chona. Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure
All right,
she works at.
I'm just giving you a
Delilah's
free
in
character
South
for your
Philly.
TikTok to use there. But yeah, there's so much mercury in the water, and
There
the
is,
DNR
it's
is like,
bad.
no, sell all the snakehead. We have to make it commercial because we've killed the bay with our terrible regulation.
Yep, 100%.
So
No,
don't
it's,
eat them very, very often. You can eat
as
one or
somebody-
two. You're fine. Whatever.
As somebody who worked, a grand total of 10 years working in Philadelphia in the marine industry. Everybody knows that's Coast Guard, so everybody can drink now.
Hey, did
Enjoy
you
your
watch that
drink.
video that
Hold on,
I
hold
sent
on.
you about the Coast Guard?
I did. It was funny. I got sent that by a lot of people. That's the best episode of Workaholics. When they make fun of the Coast Guard, and he's like, "Oh, you guys just suck a bunch of dicks, right?" It's awesome. And then that dog licks his butthole, and then they get in a porn movie. It's awesome. But I will say,
Then they're fumbling tequila out of the girlfriend's booty.
yep, 2010, there was a really bad chemical spill up in Burlington. And I specifically remember that we had to, physically, I had to drift this chemical, right? And it spread everywhere. It covered the whole fucking Delaware River. And it was, a lot of it was industrial grade chlorine, which is cool, right? Everybody thinks that's in your pool, but this is uncut. It's like cocaine basically, but for the water. Not good. Kills everything. And anything that lives is not, you should not ingest that. So to be clear, I've worked 7 spills in the 10 years that I worked in the Coast Guard in Philadelphia. I'm officially out, so I can say whatever the fuck I want now. Don't fucking eat anything out of that. I've worked over 10 spills that were catastrophic. They were on the level where we had to bring FEMA and shit involved, and EPA, national EPA, all of that shit involved because it was so bad. But then they still tell people, you can have a couple catfish. Catfish is a fucking worse because all those chemicals a lot of times sink to the bottom and they're just soaking that shit up, right? So fuck all of that. Don't eat anything out of it. And it's not because I don't eat all the fish I catch. It's because I don't want you to become glow-in-the-dark fucking zombies at some point. So just to be clear on that one. As now I'm
But if you
officially
bow
out of
fish
the-
for them, eat all of them.
Listen. If you no, you're right. But if you all right. Fuck. You pulled me on that one, right? I'm still gonna say bow fishermen are the assholes of the month for July, but because a lot of them, I still don't understand it. Why you just want to go out there? It doesn't even seem sporting to me.
It's not sporting. You're shooting a blinded animal from 5 feet away. I've seen an 8-year-old do it. Like, it's not like it's a high level of skill.
Right.
I just don't understand the need to be like,
Like
oh, I'm gonna go shoot a whole bunch of fish. Like, if you're in a small pond and you're overrun by a certain species of fish, yeah, that's
then
pond
go
management.
catch them and pull them out and do your thing, right? But like, I don't know. Like, they also look super douchey. They've always got like at least like 4 fucking cases of Bush Light Peach on board.
If I see you doing that on TikTok, I'm the one reporting you. I'm just putting it out there. I am the one reporting you. You're just shooting animals on a live stream that are blinded and can't defend themselves. There's no sporting to it. They can't swim away.
I love fishing. I love hunting. I love eating wild animals. It hurts my heart every time I take a live animal and have to kill it to clean it and eat it. That shit hurts my heart. I don't care if it's a fish, a rabbit, a squirrel, a possum, a deer. It doesn't matter. No, I would never kill my own cat.
I don't know. I just get mad when
that's heartless.
Wasted.
Exactly.
Like if it's used correctly, sure. If it's wasted, I get legitimately mad about it. Like if I have a fish on a stringer and my stringer breaks or something, I'm pissed.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm torn up if something that if I gut hook a fish and that bitch is upside down, I like that shit hurts my heart. And then if it's in the morning, I don't have any way to keep the damn thing decent to take it home.
Right.
Or anytime. It didn't have to be in the morning, but especially in the summer, if I don't have any way to keep it, it's gone. I'm not going to go home and get fucking food poisoning over.
No, you leave that bitch out for bald eagles. You leave that bitch out for bald eagles.
Well, if I'm in our lakes around here, we have a ton of bald eagles and a ton of osprey.
Yeah. Throw that bitch out. They
typically
got them.
they'll take care of them. But yeah, look, if you're going to kill an animal, you better be using that sumbitch for some kind of sustenance.
100%.
That's heartless to just kill some shit for no fucking reason. It's heartless, and you're an asshole. I don't care who you
Josh.
are.
You changed my mind from the creepy guy to now, hey, every bow fisherman, you're the fucking asshole of the month for Bass and Brews. But speaking of killing shit, hey, we play this really childish game on this show. It's called Marry, Fuck, Kill. Have you ever heard of this, Josh?
Oh, I've heard of it.
All right. So everybody who doesn't know, it's we're going to give him 3 options. He's got to marry one, he's got to kill one, and he's got to fuck one. So your options are Bigfoot, Loch Ness, or aliens.
Oh, they're all going to die eventually. But you just
well, they're going to fuck you. They're going to be around you, obviously. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're going to eat them all, so we already
probably
going
to marry the aliens for technology.
You're gonna
plus if there's one type of alien, there's probably other types of aliens as well.
Okay.
So I just they can segue. I don't know. Aliens are probably what was that movie, Paul, where the aliens are like, oh yeah, free love, man, whatever. So
species
from outer space.
There's other
species was good because all she wanted to do was reproduce, and she was looking for a big D.
Same thing with Splice. I feel like it was the same movie, but just told differently.
Same movie.
Anyway, I'll probably kill Sasquatch just for the hunting record. Just like, yep, I got the record.
Would you? That means you have to eat
Snakehead.
it. So how are you cooking your Sasquatch?
If you can't kill it and grill it, then it's probably no good.
But that's what I'm saying. How are you gonna?
Are you gonna bow fish it?
No, I feel like that's big game. That's gonna get a shotgun slug. I don't like
how are you gonna cook
shit
it?
from across the goddamn mountain. Like, all right, that's not that sporting to me either. Like I get it. That takes some skill to make that shot. Don't get me wrong, but it's like you got a deer on the other side of the mountain, 800 yards away, and you got that
big skill
to Magnum, and then you just put it down. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, but it takes skill to make that shot. But you hadn't answered my question. How are you gonna cook Bigfoot after you kill it?
I'm gonna probably shave it all down first. All right. Probably grill certain portions of it. You know,
Which
might make a
portion?
make a nice ham hock out of that big foot. You know what I'm saying? Probably it's got to be the hamstring is probably the strongest area of that whole
Hamstring
animal.
All right.
So you'd probably do like a
the
tenderloin
hamstring
type
ties
deal.
into the glute, so you got a big old piece of
And then we'll just
nice
steak.
rump
We'll probably
roast.
grill the
Rump
steaks.
roast.
Probably do like a nice medallion, the tenderloins. And then it's probably got a strong back, so there's probably some backstrap muscle in there. And then we'll
Are
just
you gonna
probably
eat the
grind up
organs?
everything else. And then I'll probably make a nice donation to the homeless shelter.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Are you
Bullfish,
gonna
man.
eat the heart, liver, lungs? You gonna eat the organs?
I don't know. I usually don't eat organs, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of liver. The heart is just tastes like pennies, so I don't. It is what it is.
Oh, you got to prepare it differently if it tastes like blood.
Oh, just raw.
Oh, just raw.
Take
Okay.
that,
Prepare it
you take that one bite
All right,
out of
so
there and
that-
say you did it.
That all
And
settled
then-
with that you're fucking this.
Well, see, here's my thing. I was thinking that Loch Ness doesn't really have to come up for air, so if you're wade fishing, that could be an interesting time.
So you're saying you're looking for the underwater hawk tui.
It's like the ultimate brown bag because it's like you don't have to see anything.
I don't care how big Loch Ness is. I don't got to see her body.
Is that a Hummer or a bubbler?
Yeah. Till she's
bubbler,
done
a
and comes
bubbler.
up for that kiss after.
A bubbler.
No.
Bubbler.
No.
I didn't say I had to treat her well.
Just got a bubbler.
Oh boy. Oh man. All right. Where are we at? We're at an hour and a half. Oh, we got more games to play actually. Let's wait. Do I have the
Hey,
old- oh, don't have
I
the
got
old
one right here. I got
Yeah,
one
yeah.
right here.
All right.
All right, Josh, you're an official Bass and Brews child. Okay, you're Alex and Ma's child. We're mommy, we're daddy, we're getting divorced. 2 questions. Well, 1 question. Alex
2
and me are getting
questions.
divorced.
Yeah,
you have to
who's
choose
mommy?
who you're going to live with.
Alex,
Who are you
man.
choosing?
I'm gonna live with Alex because they got snakeheads in Jersey.
My man.
North Carolina is fun and all, but I don't know. I've driven through there. Don't
Yeah,
stop at the
it
gas
sucks.
stations in Fayetteville. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
See, he hadn't even fished here. He's just driven through,
I
and he's
fished in
going
North
to
Carolina.
live with Alex.
It's bad.
No, I
you
fished
don't
it.
like him. Hey,
I was born in
Jo-
Charlotte, actually.
They just had a sniper in Charlotte yesterday.
thanks. That's awesome. That's awesome. We've had none
You know
of
what?
that.
Here's the thing. See, Maryland, we had that like 10 years ago. You guys just
You
No,
did.
that was
You
longer than
did.
10 years ago. That was almost 20 years
The
ago.
DC sniper?
Yeah, the
No,
DC sniper. That was 20
no,
years
that
ago.
was no. It's in the military when it happened.
I bet you retired with
Oh,
20
shit,
year in the
maybe.
military.
Yeah, you're right. You might be close. Hey, Josh, if you had to pick who's mom and who's dad between me and Paul,
I feel like Alex's dad and then Jabber's mom.
That is
100%.
completely. You're the
mom likes
only
to
one.
interject. Mom likes to talk over dad. You know what I'm saying? That's
That is.
also
You're the only one that's
sign.
ever said that.
But I also
Alex is
feel like-
definitely mommy.
I feel like the mom will send you 20 freaking cat videos on TikTok. So
Point made.
my dad's not sending me 20 freaking cat videos
100%.
on TikTok every day.
No,
A day.
not at all.
A day. Yeah.
All right. Hey,
I don't send
have-
Alex cat videos though.
He sends me dumb shit. Anyways, so
Even
don't
though I
have the
did send
opening
you shit
music.
that you like today.
I don't have any.
And I
the op-
don't.
I don't have the opening music anymore, but we're coming back. Josh, it's been a hot minute since we've done a segment called Bass or Ass. Do you know this segment?
I don't think I do.
Good
All
luck.
right, so here's the segment. I'm going to play you a couple clips, and you have to describe whether this is somebody catching a bass or somebody getting some
Catching
ass.
some ass.
All right, here's the first one.
Get in here, get in here, get in here, get in here, get in here. Oh, yes.
That's bass.
That's bass, you think? I actually don't know the answer to that one. That could be anything in this point.
We didn't tell you.
Nobody's ever been that excited and saying, get in here.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. You
But-
had never watched a good.
Wait,
porno.
is this how do I put this? Is this going to be a male and female interaction or just anything?
It could be.
We have no idea.
That would change the audio significantly.
We have no idea.
no.
People send us this shit, and we just play it and put bass or ass on it. So you just have to use your imagination.
That sounds like a bass video. When you say
Well,
real kind of questionable stuff while you're reeling fishing.
That one is definitely actually bass, but this one.
Oh my God. Is it in you?
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh my fucking God.
Fuck.
Oh my God, dude.
All right, what do you
100%.
got for that one?
So somebody definitely hit somebody with a fishing lure.
You nailed it.
You heard that clip before. Listen, that one was sent in by a listener, and man, that is the dirtiest.
You can tell by the
non-dirty
crickets.
clip.
You can tell by the
Yeah,
the outside atmosphere.
Hold
the
on,
background
hold on.
noise.
Oh
The
my
background
God.
noise.
Is it in you?
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh my fucking God.
Fuck.
Oh my God, dude.
Hold on, that could just be two dudes fucking in the woods.
It could be, but it's not. There'd be a little more echo. Honestly, all the animals would be quiet. You wouldn't hear shit.
It'd be like Bambi with all the animals circled around him, watching, being real quiet.
Old Thumper's just over there like, wait.
What's funny is Alex sent that to me today to play it for this. I'm like, holy shit! I saw that a month or two ago, and somehow I completely just let it slip by. This would be a really good bass wrastle. So whoever sent Alex that, sent us that, y'all nailed it. That was a very good one.
I still have a really good one that Paul won't let me play. But anyways, hey, we're at the point of the show where we're gonna get to the most important part, the only semi-scripted, non-scripted. But before we get there, I want to give you a chance to shout out whatever you'd like, whoever you'd like. You know, this is your promotion.
Oh my
This
God,
is your
Alex,
promotion money
you have
shot
to
at this
tell
point.
You confuse the fuck out of people by saying that.
I don't.
What it needs to be. We're
don't.
about to get
Hey,
into
Josh, did you
the
know what I was
only
talking
scripted
about?
part of the
Yeah,
podcast.
but I've been here before, so
Okay,
might help.
perfect.
Only
yeah.
scripted part
Josh
of the
knows what's going
podcast.
on.
We're going to give you a chance to shout out your sponsors or whoever else helps
You
you
knew
and
it.
allows you to fish. See how easy that is, Alex? And now,
I'm just joking.
you
we're
can
not
keep doing
editing it.
that. Yeah, you can keep doing that. I'll kick you out. Look,
Oh,
he's
he gone.
gone.
I'm back.
He back.
All right. right,
Yeah, I'll probably just I'm gonna shout out all the people that have kind of supported us on social media, because honestly, if it was just me making lures for myself and a couple of random people, then this wouldn't have gotten to where it's at. Shout out to all the people on my pro staff team that send me all the stuff. You guys can't fish better than me, but you try. It's fine. But I appreciate the 1 or 2 pictures a month. I appreciate that. But no, seriously, there's a lot of good people on my team. It's gotten to the point now where I don't really have to be hands-on with everything. I can just be like, yeah, you go fish, tell me what you need, I'll send it to you, send me the stuff, and it works smoothly. Yeah, other than that, I mean, shout out to Monster Energy Drink and Arizona Tea, because it's the only things that I ever have on me at any time on the boat. I don't eat while I'm out there, so that high sugar level is what keeps us
Same.
going. 100%.
Yep. No food fishing. That's me too. Fuck eating.
Oh, shit.
You got
Hey,
time
hey.
to eat, you ain't catching fish. That's why Alex eats when he fishes, because that motherfucker don't catch nothing.
Hey, where can people find you at?
Every social media except for Twitter, because no, what is it, X now? Anyway, everything is Invasive Lures, so at Invasive Lures. We got YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
You got a website?
I do have a website, which is invasivelures.com. You guys can go there. And honestly, the fastest way to reach me, because TikTok messaging is so messed up, if you have a business account, they screw you over. Just send us an email or hit the contact us on the website, and it'll send a notification to my phone. I don't turn on notifications for all the social media stuff. To be honest, I just don't have time to manage notifications from 4 different platforms.
Perfect. All right, man. Well, you ready?
Oh, yeah.
It's time. Boys and girls, let's see how far down the rabbit hole we can go today. Woo! It only takes one.
All right, here's how it goes. We're going to do the patent pending Bass and Brews shotgun round. We're going to ask you a set of rapid fire questions. We don't need an answer. Like, we need an answer.
What?
We don't need an explanation. I know. We don't need an explanation unless we ask for it. But what we need you to do is answer these questions properly. And it's either going to send you to the highest highs to become a serious angler or the lowest lows into the dark waters. Josh, are you ready?
I feel like you're ready. You got the slur going.
I'm fucking drunk as shit. Hey, is it
He is 6
Texas?
minutes. He is 5 minutes early too. This
Man.
is awesome.
No, listen, I've been trying to. Anyways, is it Texas or wacky?
I don't throw worms, but probably Texas for creatures.
Hey, I didn't ask
Makes
for
sense.
fucking explanation.
What are you getting at?
Anyway,
You told me not to answer, so
We don't need your answers. We just need an explanation.
Is it Crocs or flops?
flops.
What? You're a kayak guy and flops.
My mom's Asian.
You
Okay. That makes sense then. No. I'm
Oh,
with you.
hold on. Your mom. All right. Tell me,
Oh.
can you cook Asian food?
Yeah, depends on what it is, but yeah. Like, I'm not
Oh.
cooking spiders. Fuck that.
I'm not cooking spiders.
You ain't eating no fucking brown recluses, deep fried brown recluses,
I'm
huh?
not, like, I'll make lumpia. I ain't making no fish heads.
Okay.
Where's your mom
Lupia's
from?
Filipino, right?
Filipino, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you eat a lot of rice.
Oh, yeah, every meal. You like
Yeah.
bananas? Rice.
Oh,
You want to have some eggs? Rice. Steak? Rice. One potato chip? Rice.
Yes. I love Asian food is my, and I'm lumping all this shit together. I know, but Asian
Macaroni and
food
cheese?
is
Rice.
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 Asian food is
Look-
one of my second favorite food behind.
Yeah, but
Persian food.
Filipino's a different
So
type of
delicious.
Asian
I
food.
I
that
know.
is
I told you I
insane.
was
Yeah,
lumping
yeah,
them all
yeah,
together,
yeah,
but
yeah. No, it's different.
just in general,
It's
Asian
very
food
good.
is
Yeah.
flavorful.
Yep.
The smells are so good.
Mhm.
It's colorful. Like when you
chicken thighs for
eat-
days.
oh, so
Yeah,
good.
chicken thighs for days.
Dark meat's more
Um,
fat, holds more flavor.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely. Hey, shit, I'm trying to remember. You're on your way to the water to go fish. Is it hype music or slow jams?
Hype music.
And what does
shit.
that mean for you?
I don't know. I listen to a lot of metal, so it could be the most depressing lyrics in the world, but it's heavy as fuck. So like
Is it-
Gideon,
Okay. Is it Sleep Token?
I listen to Sleep Token, but that's not what I'm going to be playing all the time. Like Sleep Token's a little bit more like it's not easy listening. It's definitely one of those bands where like you have to read and follow along. I don't know. They
Yeah,
switch
yeah.
genres in between, and some songs are better than others. Others don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, but I'm not turning that on to have 7 minutes of just like the weirdest operatic shit followed by heavy breakdowns. Like if I'm trying to get hyped,
Yeah.
I'm putting on 100th, I'm putting on Gideon, I'm putting on Fit for a King, something heavy. Just
I've got
straight
two
heavy.
comments here. Don't interrupt me, Paul. One, you
So
mentioned,
you said you played the
Hold on,
guitar-
Paul, stop.
Just
You
kidding.
mentioned way earlier in the episode that you were in bands. What kind of bands were you in?
Like metalcore bands.
Okay,
I was
metalcore?
like a fill-in musician for a couple of bands.
Singer, player.
A guitar player, backup vocals. But I mean, with
All right.
metal, it's like you have the guys that do the screaming, and you have guys that do
Yeah,
the
yeah.
clean singing. I never
Yeah,
really
yeah.
got into doing the screaming. I just would do backup regular singing.
I gotcha. And then my second comment is, here's my new obsession is, I don't know how old you are, Josh, but Limp Bizkit has made this fucking resurgence. And they've made this resurgence in like South America. So if you ever want to just kind of elevate yourself, go listen to Limp Bizkit play Argentina in 2024. Just type that into YouTube.
Didn't
Dude,
they
they
play with
fucking-
Ginger?
I didn't see the Ginger part. I just saw them play by themselves, and it was fucking amazing. Wes Borland fucking killed it, and he's like, at this point, I think like 58 years old, and he's still the best, like, new metal / metal guitarist ever. He's still out there in costume. He's killing it. He's doing insane shit. And
Fred
then
Durst dresses like a 70-year-old
Durst,
man.
yeah, he dresses like a cowboy sometimes.
Yeah, it's
he
his
does a
new
cowboy.
personas are awesome.
Fred
I
Durst
mean-
seems like he just got
the-
real skinny though.
The Argentina one is super fat. He looks like the Kool-Aid man. and he's dressed in like 80s gear, but they did a really good job. But it's
He's
awesome.
like a windsuit. It's like
yeah,
a
dude.
fucking
He was wearing he was wearing a windbreaker sweatsuit all the way through. It's solid. But as a guitar player, Wes Borland killed it during that, and he's still like holding it up. I know he's not like true metal. I get it. It's like new metal, but I thought it was awesome.
Hey, Josh.
That's me.
Hey, Josh.
Hey.
Tuna salad or egg salad on a
Egg
sandwich?
salad all day. 100% egg salad.
There you
Oh,
go. I love it.
Okay.
Hell
One,
yeah.
that's a new question, and it's going to become a permanent question because Josh did say the only right answer. It's
Yes.
always egg salad.
Yep.
Even if
Hey,
it's from a gas
Sheets
station.
has one of the best gas station egg salad sandwiches I've ever eaten in my entire
Wawa
life.
used to have egg salad, and I'm pretty sure they took it away because I ordered
Nope.
so much
Nope.
of them.
Nope. I had an
I
egg
couldn't keep
salad.
up. I would
Nope,
eat that entire bucket in 2 days.
I had an egg salad, no fucking lie, an egg salad hoagie 2-day with vinegar on the top and
Too
pepper
much
jack
bread.
cheese.
Was it from
It's too
Sheets or
much
Wawa?
bread.
Wawa, dude.
Oh, they brought it back.
I live in
I don't know.
South
The one-
Jersey.
The
we
one
don't
that I
have
went
Sheets.
to, well, there was a couple of them that I went to
Yeah.
that they took it off the menu for a while, and they came out with the Wawa turkey sandwich or whatever, and then they just never brought back egg salad, and I was really mad
you
about
mean
that because I would get 2 foot-long hoagies a day of just egg salad.
There's too much
Why put one
bread
in
in
the
a
fridge?
hoagie egg
That's
salad.
so
It's
much
too much
farts.
bread.
When I was
The-
I
the-
was lifting, like when I was trying to be in shape and everything, yeah, I would get 2 egg salad sandwiches. It's more protein.
The protein,
and it's
dude.
way
The
less
protein
price.
shits and farts afterwards are insane. But
The Sheets egg salad is not freshly made. It's in the cellophane packet, but the bread is
Same as
always
Wawa.
nice
Wawa
and
egg
moist.
salad comes in a bucket, brother.
it's in
A bucket?
bro.
Oh,
Yes.
my God.
Bro,
It's one of
we're
those like
supposed
bait
to-
bucket, little half-gallon bait
Oh my
bucket
God,
things.
we're supposed to be getting a Wawa somewhere in North Carolina. If they got buckets of egg salad, I'm
I
definitely
hope
going
they do.
there.
I hope you get
Listen.
to experience that.
Hey, here's what I want you to experience is around October becomes when they do the gobbler, which is the Thanksgiving Wawa sandwich, which is
Oh, yeah.
amazing, Paul. It's a
Well,
turkey sandwich.
Josh, next time you're driving through, you're going to take an hour and 5-minute detour to come to my house, and I'm going to make you the second best egg salad sandwich you've ever eaten in your entire life because there's a proper way to make an egg salad sandwich.
I
and
don't
a lot
want
of
a
people
good
don't
one.
do it that
No,
way.
I don't want a good one.
No,
I want
this-
a gas
this
station
I
thing-
actually
one.
I had this conversation the other day. I was like, why don't people make it as deviled egg sandwiches like more often?
Right? Like, just
Like,
take a
just
deviled egg,
little bit
all
of
that
mustard,
dill,
little paprika,
and all that shit,
little-
right? Put it in there.
See, that's why you need to come to my house because you're speaking my egg salad sandwich love language.
I like to put Old Bay on mine. Being from Maryland, is I put a little
Yeah,
spice
Old
in there,
Bay's
too sometimes.
wonderful and tons of shit. Hey,
I
you-
put my
you know
own
what
homemade rub on there. Beard
You know what
dust.
else is great? Nobody wants your homemade rub. That's gross. Are you going to spend more
Is it
on
a wet
rod?
rub or a dry rub?
Oh, it's,
Oh, it's
definitely
dry.
a wet rub. It's definitely
Beard
a wet
dust.
rub.
Bitch, it's called beard dust. It's not called beard juice. That's my
Sounds like
barbecue
dry
sauce.
shampoo for your beard. You know, like that
No, I
could be an
don't-
actual product.
I mean, yeah, you could put it. You could put my beard juice in your beard and wash it, and you'd smell like vinegar and
You'd
sugar and
smell
tomato.
like Paul. Nobody wants
Your
that.
wife would be licking your face in the middle of the night, and you'd
Your
wake
wife
up with
would
her.
hate you just like Paul's does. It's
I don't
nobody
have a
She
wants
does
wife.
not hate me. She loves me.
I know Sarah loves you, but she doesn't like you. Anyways,
You're
you're
true.
gonna spend
That's the
more-
difference between liking and
Real.
loving.
It's
I'm a
Here's
hard
real.
person to
More on a-
like, but I'm easy to love.
You're gonna spend more on a rod or a reel.
real, 100%.
Okay. He's bait casting most of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Well, that and
an
I break
ugly
all the
stick
rods,
so a $50 ugly stick on a $500
I'll break
reel
the
is
shit
what
out
you're
of that.
rolling.
I'll break this shit out of an ugly stick.
I
I've
want
gone
to
through
see
4
it.
of them.
I need a video. I don't believe it.
I've gone through 4 of them.
I need a video.
Nobody
in
said you 2
breaking.
halves.
I had a buddy that slammed back in high school. I had a buddy that slammed my ugly stick rod in his tailgate, and he slammed it, and there's like 4 inches sticking out the tailgate. And he looks at me, and I look at him, and he goes, "Oh fuck!" And I was like, "Oh, it's all right." He opened up that bitch, and it was fine. We went catfishing that night and caught like 4 or
Nice.
5 catfish, and it didn't break.
Yeah, it's different though because the snakehead fishing, you're pulling all that weight down. The fish comes up out of the water, they jump, and then what happens is there's just so much recoil in the rod
Snaps
that
at
it
the
gets
bottom.
again, and then it snaps it again
It
because
snaps
it's
at the bottom.
It's not done fully flexing or unflexing before it gets torqued again. And then
so they snapping at the bottom is what I'm guessing. Then,
they'll
right?
snap either right at the first like 3 inches or something, or right down there by the handle. That's usually the two places where it breaks. But
hey,
I've never seen them
Ramon.
snap
I've gone
at the
through
tip.
lots of rods.
Hey, Ramon
That's what she
Outdoors.
said.
I know you
Hey-oh!
love Ramon Outdoors. I know you love ugly sticks, but yeah, they're fucking trash. You just heard it here.
Well, for the $50, here's my little interjection. If you're spending $300 on a rod for snakehead fishing, you're probably retarded. I'm sorry, you're probably stupid. If you are just knowing that you're gonna break stuff, don't spend high dollar. You can get a $30 rod from Academy. You can get a $50 ugly stick. You can get something like that. That will work. You will catch fish, and when you break it, you're not that mad about it.
That's true. That's a good point. Hey, when you go out fishing, shit. Let's rewind way back.
This is the longest shotgun round in at least a year, year and a half.
It's because you're making it longer.
That's because you can't talk.
Anyway.
Thank you. Let's pretend
Josh
you're
said I was
bass.
the mom, so I got to pretend like I'm your wife.
Let's pretend you're bass fishing. Is it 5 2-pounders or 1 7-pounder?
I'll take the 7, I guess.
All right, there we go. Hey, have you ever eaten largemouth bass? Or I'm sorry, do you eat largemouth bass?
I don't make a habit of it, but I have.
Okay. How about beaver? You ever eaten that?
Depends on our attitude.
Okay.
What do you mean?
She knows what it means.
All right, we're moving through here. This is the most important question that we're going to ask all night.
Have you ever drank camel's milk?
That's not the most important question.
That was good timing. Your drunk ass stopped, and I had to let it go because you paused.
Way to go. Hey. He's fucking frustrating me. Hey, every great angler loves a good sandwich. What are your top 3 sandwich proteins?
Well, we've been over 1, which is egg salad for sure.
I thought he was going to say beaver.
I like a good steak sandwich.
Okay.
Like a Cuban style steak. And
Yeah. All right, so egg salad, steak. Okay.
Cuban steak.
Probably just your good old fried chicken sandwich.
That's not your fucking good old. Okay, that's a solid answer, but that's not like a common answer.
Yeah, but he's right, though. It's just a good old-fashioned crunchy fried chicken sandwich.
It is. Fuck it. Yeah, you're right. All right, everybody. Hey, I'm going to be clear. Actually, as much as I've given Paul shit lately, go check him out on YouTube and all that other shit. He is doing great cooking content over there. This fat ass knows how to cook well. So make sure to check him out. Make sure to check out Josh at Invasive Lures. And, hey, try not to get an STD this week. That's all I can ask for you guys. Just try to stay clean. And, bye.